All right, what is up, you heathens and demons, you sinners and saints, you beautiful, blasphemous bastards. Now, here lately I haven't been covering when I go into rooms, and today I was off and on if I was going to cover going into Praise's room last night. I decided to because I think that it's enlightening, and I think that it just shows the mentality of some of these people. And I also chose to do it mainly because Smokey ain't gonna flip the fuck out. And, I know a lot of you have probably seen me going into Smokey's room, and the mood in our conversations recently have been a lot more chill. I think both of us probably understood that wouldn't last for long. But yeah, we're going to get into it. Now, I was in this room for like 3 hours and 40 minutes, something like that last night. Like way too late. After I streamed last night, having fun with heaven and all. I went into this praise room because they were talking about OSAS. Now, I'm a former Southern Baptist. I used to believe in OSAS. I've had the conversations with the NIFB over OSAS. So I usually can add to a Christian conversation on OSAS. And I've done it a couple times with Smokey Saint, with Praise. And, that was my intention because, like I said, I had just streamed. If you guys watched the stream last night, it was a fun stream. I had fun with it, a short stream. And then I watched it back, and then I headed over there because I saw that Praise was live, and I saw, all these interesting characters in the room. Vecca was there, Joe was there, Smokey was there, Praise. Kenny Rhodes was there, I believe, at first, maybe. Which I totally, Kenny Rhodes wrote a song for me. So I'm going to be clipping that and making that into an intro. It's pretty awesome. I really dig it. So, I decided, I'll go in, and I should have probably listened for a minute before going in because they weren't on OSAS anymore. So I kind of come into the room somewhat blind. Now, I've been doing this, I've been trying to test out, a new method, a new style. Really going into these rooms, letting them say their bigotries, letting them say their things against me, and, trying to be patient, trying not to lose my cool. I've been doing a really good job about that. Now, last night I lost my cool a couple times, and I'll comment on that as we come to it, because it's really something that I'm trying to work on. I want to be able to keep cool under the pressure, under the fire. I don't want to come with emotional responses, and I do a couple times. But I think you'll probably understand when I do, because the pile-on is vicious, guys. It's vicious. But it's another reason why I do these rooms. I like to go into Christian rooms because when I was doing open rooms for the longest time, we would pile on Christians, and it's just something that happens naturally. If you have a bunch of atheists in a room and one or two Christians come in, it's going to be a pile-on, right? So if I'm the only atheist in a room full of Christians, it's naturally going to be a pile-on. So, it's natural human behavior. Don't really have any problems with it. I understand that it's going to happen when I jump into this room. One thing I do want to comment is there's going to be the use of slurs, the F slur in particular. So it's 3.5 hours long. I didn't go through it and find it to try to bleep those out. It's at a specific part. If I am remembering correctly, it was late and, all of that, and nobody's memory is accurate. So that's going to pop up as we get through this. In the past, Praise has given me permission to play these things, so I'm going to try to play it without commenting too much, but I'm sure I'm going to be commenting. What else do I want to say before we get into this? I want to say, what's up, chat? How are you guys doing? This is going to be interesting. I haven't done this in a while. I haven't showed one of these in a while. I did tell them I was going to do it last night because, it's very interesting. When you go into a room and you're accused of not being the former Christian that you were, when you're accused of being a pedo lover, when you're accused of, at the very end, after I left, Jill would throw in, that, of course, I'm into bestiality and all of that shit. So it's going to be quite a pile-on. So be prepared for that as well. This is going to be a very long stream. Like I said, it's probably going to be a two-parter because at one point, at the end, Danny's going to come in and have a long conversation with Smokey. And I think that that's, while some of the audience doesn't get into the philosophy, I think Danny makes it really easy to follow along, and I think it's vital to the conversation, especially at that particular part of the pile up. All right, so the pile on. So we're gonna get into the Christian dog pile, guys. But what's up, chat? KCA Randy was first. How you doing, Randy? Willie Ignorant, Free Spirit, Kent Hovind CPA. Hello from Portland. I think you're gonna enjoy this. Kent Hovind CPA. The Trusty Ape Podcast, Cryptomeria. The Divine Sorcerer. What's up, Free Spirit? Krabby Hermit. I said Trusty Ape Podcast. This one doggo. Did someone say dogpile? Yep, you are in the right spot. So yeah, this is going to be fun. Now, another thing that before we get into it that I have to comment, this is another thing that I've recognized in myself that I really need to stop doing. I do it because it elicits a reaction from Christians. They find it insulting, so I use it as to be insulting. And I think like when you're implying that these straight Christians who are bigoted, when I imply, to them to elicit a response from them that they aren't straight, that they're in fact gay, that I shouldn't do that. I think that it's bigoted to do that. It's like making it an insult. And even though it is an insult to them, it's not an insult. So this is something that I do during this stream that I regret. This is something that I'm really trying to stop doing. The inappropriate comments, like, the butt play, messing with, things to make them uncomfortable. I think that that's perfectly fine. But when I do that, like I've done it with Cupcake a few times, and I'm going to do it just because, Vecco is just going so hard at me. I'm like, Vecco must have a crush on me. But, I need to stop doing that, because by doing that, I think I'm being bigoted, because I'm implying that it's an insult when it's not an insult, even though it might be an insult to them. So I did want to get into that. What's up, Roger Shroom? So yeah, we're going to get right into it. I'm going to try not to comment too much. I will be commenting throughout. But like I said, Praise has given me permission to run these things in the past. I'm assuming that this is cool. And I was a part of the conversation. So yeah, I'm going to play it. And then try to keep my commentary minimal. So we'll get right into it. Wrong screen, of course. I always do that shit.
Sledge.
Oh,
right.
Go ahead, Sledge.
I was so I had just come in the room. I had been quiet up to this point. Like I said, I coming in cold. Didn't really understand. I thought I was be coming into an OSAS conversation, but they had been streaming for 3.5 hours. I should have figured that they were probably moved on. So yep. I'm about to make my first comment, so I thought this was the appropriate place to start, so we can see how this is going to start with compliments of your boy, but in the blink of an eye, it's going to become a dog pile.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, I was just curious your thoughts on, I don't know if you were here whenever I was talking to everybody else, what I was talking about earlier. I was just curious your thoughts on it. I've heard you talk a lot and stuff, and I don't know that this is something that's legit or anything like that, but I thought it would be worth asking somebody who might have some insight. As far as the third temple, there's a big push that the temple.
All right, I think the Sledge guy is. I thought that was Kenny, Dr. Kylo Ren, Kenny Rhodes, if you guys have heard of him, because they sound familiar. But I'm seeing now that's Sledge. I don't think that's Kenny.
Temples, the first and the second temples from Solomon and Herod, were actually in the city of David. And, Jesus talks about one stone not being left on top of another. If it does turn out that the temple site was actually in the city of David versus on the Temple Mount, where the Wailing Wall is, which a lot of people believe is actually just left over from the Roman fortress Antonio, if that were to come to light, and the Jewish people were to be able to go ahead and build that third temple, that would be something that would bring about, biblical prophecy on a lot quicker scale. I was just curious if you thought there might be any legitimacy to it, or if you believe that the temple is indeed on the Temple Mount.
For the sake of time, I think we can speed this up a bit. So let's go up to 1.25 and see if that's too fast for my OCD.
Maybe the Dome of the Rock is, or I was just curious your thoughts on it, bro.
Yeah, that's Yeah, that's fine. I don't,
I
as you
think that'll be all
probably
right.
noticed, I mean, I don't really spend a lot of time in eschatology because I almost think like sometimes it's more dangerous to overreach into like having some sort of certainty in what these
Hmm.
prophecies actually look like. So I'm kind of careful the way they handle it. My best position on that would be I could see it as a truly reconstructed third temple that would, and the reason I say that is because it would have political efficacy to it. So like for the sake of the mark of the beast and for the sake of the one world order and like a one world religion, it would make sense for there to be a third temple, which allows the Antichrist to merge the religions of the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims, and kind of bring it all
Yeah,
under
well, the
one.
nation of desolation. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Well, it would
Sledge,
have to be more than
Bible.
that, though, wouldn't it? Like it would have to be all the religions. The Antichrist would have to like merge all the religions, right?
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I talk too fast, y'all. For me to have this turned up, I talk way too fast. It's gonna bother my OCD, so we're gonna go back to normal and just deal with it.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Like he could squash the other religions, or he
Well,
could
that's
claim
true. Yeah, that's true.
or
Yeah.
he could claim to be the god of those religions too. It could
Yeah.
be. It could go either way. But the major Abrahamics all have a thread that
Like it's amazing. Like I really need to slow my roll when I'm talking because it is amazing how much faster I talk than everybody else. And I think that's an issue. I think that's probably why I mispronounce so much shit.
could leverage,
Yeah.
to his benefit. So whether the temple is on the Temple Mount or even in Rome is completely ultimately unknown to me. But there is
Yeah.
something there that is going to be a bastion of a one world religious system. So whether
Well,
that's in Israel or Rome,
If-
there's lots of takes on that.
the Bible does
if there's
say-
one more quick thing that I could say real quick, and then everybody else can finish, I would encourage everybody to.
All right, this is going to start really slow. I'm not going to be too active at first. I'm not really that active, guy. Like I don't really get a chance to be that active once they start coming at me. So yeah. I guess I should just let it play. But I want to warn you guys, it's going to be slow rolling at first. It's going to be moving slow.
Even though some people look at the rapture and believe in a pre-tribulation rapture, in the same sense that I would look at Pascal's wager, I would ask everybody to please, maybe if there is a pre-tribulation rapture, awesome, we'll go in it, it'll be awesome. But if there's not, and we're going to go through it, my suggestion to everybody would be, please be prepared. Prepare like there's not going to be one. And if there is one, great, then we won't need any of the stuff that we prepared. Otherwise, the days will be as the days of Noah. Build your ark. Try to prepare yourself for a 7 to 10 year period of tribulation to where you won't need to buy or sell, anything via what's
Good
going
luck with
on in the
that.
world and stuff. I know, exactly. But that's why we need to start thinking about that stuff now, because that's going to be hard. And I agree. Good luck, but
So-
that's
Let me
just
say
a thought.
something.
I could be completely wrong.
Real quick,
I'm just
real
thinking
quick.
I would rather
Sledge.
be, yeah, go for it.
Sledge, that what you just said right there nails down why you should be kind of cautious when you're dealing with eschatology. There's as much danger in overreaching and getting it wrong as there is in simply ignoring the warnings altogether. Which is why, as eschatology needs to be approached with a certain level-headedness, a certain sense of awareness that these are images that when you try to overreach and say, oh, it's definitely this, and the Antichrist is going to be here, and he's going to be this person, like there's as much of a danger in overreaching beyond what you should and saying, this manifesting, this is fulfilled prophecy, or this is fulfilled prophecy, or this is or that. And what you could be doing is distracting away from what it really is. And I know that a lot of these, extremists, about rapture and Armageddon, that's exactly what they do. And I'm more concerned about that overreaching. And then the thing you're claiming is the mark of the beast, or the person you're claiming is the Antichrist, isn't really the Antichrist and isn't really the mark of the beast. and you guys just
Sure.
acted like a bunch of alarmist clowns, and then the world doesn't believe your warnings.
Pull,
Because every 10 years,
We've seen those
you're
come and
going around.
go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
every
plus
10
you
years,
you gave out the position of your bug out shelter. So
yeah, every 10 years you're going around saying something new is the mark of the beast, and some other person is the beast himself, and it just goes.
I mean, not a bad point. We atheists talk about this, and it's true, but it happens every generation. I mean, I think it's the nature of Christianity that they're going to be looking for end times every generation. Now, I'm going to come in a bit and play a bit ignorant. I was raised with a pre-trib theology. Pre-trib was always kind of normal to me as a Christian, but I have covered Chelsea Bedell, and I've of course seen other Christians going at her for what she says about pre-trib. So I understand that there is Christians out there that don't believe in a pre-trib event. So I do play a bit ignorant, just trying to, once I jump in here in a moment, just trying to kind of like blend into the conversation and catch up to speed.
These cycles, that's
Sure.
embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Do demons make
Yeah, we've seen it from barcodes to everything.
They could KCA, because the dislike and disdain for your boy here, I think, is clearly going to be evident. And I mean, according to their worldview, I would have to say that would be some demons up in them, right? So,
Anything else? Yeah, no, you're absolutely right on that.
That's
You're absolutely
SDA-ish.
well, real quick, like so.
I guess I'm just kind of the mindset I'd rather have it and not need it than not have it and need it.
Like I was raised in this like very fundamental background as a Christian. I'm not a Christian anymore, but like, so is it even a thing? Like,
you're not a Christian?
No, I'm I know, shocker, everybody. But like, is it a thing? Like, are there actual Christians out there that think that there's not going to be a pre-trib event? Like, the way that I always understood it is like, true Christians at the time would be, they do their thing, they go to heaven. And then, what was left on earth, people would come to the faith, and those would be saints. But that was after the fact. Like, the Christians on earth at the time, I don't know.
The elect won't be deceived.
Yeah.
The camera left behind, bro.
There's lots of different views of eschatology. It sounds like your assembly had a pre-trib perspective.
Yeah, we definitely were pre-trib, I guess. I just didn't know that there wasn't a non-pre-trib faction of Christianity, I guess.
Oh yeah.
That's the Catholic Church. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, post-trib, pre-wrath, post-trib, post-wrath. There's lots of different.
I mean, is that true about the Catholic Church? Because maybe I just didn't realize that. I think that it's pretty clear in Scripture that there would be some pre-trib event. But again, nothing's really clear about Revelations. But is that true, chat? Like, are Catholics, do they not believe in a pre-trib event? I didn't know that.
Different eschatological views. I lean more post-trib, pre-wrath. So I feel like there's a period of time where there's tribulation, then we're pulled out, and then there's wrath. That's the position I take. But yeah, there's lots of churches, like those left.
Well, I mean, if you guys have to go through it with us, that's a little more fair. I'll grant you that.
Wrath, absolutely. Yeah, we're not appointed to wrath, but post-trib.
But we won't be deceived, though. We won't be deceived.
So, Sledge, actually, the Bible tells us the temple will be near the Mount of Olives, where the east gate is. So, and you can read this in Ezekiel 43 through 45. It goes through there. It says that it's next to the Mount of Olives, that the east gate where the Lord will walk into there. So that's where the third temple is going to be built. But I think that's traditionally where it is. It tells us. So I disagree with that old David thing, but that's just something to think about.
And also, can I actually add in a little bit here as far as the Revelation goes? Because this is just kind of this is what I kind of been doing as far as my own research, how I understand it. So in Revelation 13, John writes about the numbering of the beast, that the beast has a number. He who has wisdom can number it. And he says that the numbering of the beast is 666. Now, I've said this here to I guess a lot of people. Smokey's one of them. That what this is actually a reference to Nero Caesar, or what we now.
That's the shitty part about streaming, because if you don't have, if I don't have this screen over here up and I start typing a response to chat, which is usually why I don't type a response to chat most times. I totally fuck everything up. So yeah, the difficulties of being a YouTuber.
To know today is Emperor Nero. And we know this for one major reason, that although in the Greek variations of the New Testament it's 666, in Latin manuscripts of the New Testament it's 616. Why this is because in Greek gematria, each number, each letter, right, has a numeric meaning. So when you take 616 and give the alphanumeric meaning in Greek, it is Nero Caesar. When it's in Latin, right, Nero Caesar means 616. So one thing we can be sure of, about 90% here, is that when John is writing, he is referring to a beast in his time, which he says is Emperor Nero.
Well,
Moreover, let me finish this because I'm not quite done yet. Because moreover, what's going on here is that when he talks about the horror of Revelation, the beast, and the beast that rides on many waters, it says that it sits on 7 hills. Well, again, pagan Rome at the time was a city that was founded on 7 hills and extended into that area.
it still is.
Oh yeah. Oh no, actually, no. Rome since then has expanded more than that. But yes, you're right. More than that, though, what's going on is that when it talks about every nation falling,
Isn't it literally called the City of 7 Hills? Isn't that
yes, it
literally what
is.
it's called?
Yep.
Yes, it is. Now again,
So-
there are
Christian conversations are so fascinating. I love them. I really love it when they're like at each other's throats.
there are other variations of this where even Jerusalem is considered to be the city as well. But in any case, regardless, what's going on, that in order to understand what Paul is saying when he's predicting, I guess, eschatology, we need to frame it from in Paul's day. So in my estimation, this one world government, it's not going to be a merging of religions. It's not going to have anything to do with that, because the understanding that, like, the understanding of the universality of man is a Christian concept. Rather, what's going to happen, I think there will be a one world religion in one way, but in order for that to happen, a Christian culture has to be irrevocably scrubbed away. The future is going to resemble. Hold on, Sledge. That the future is going to resemble a socio-political construct, such what we saw in the Roman Empire. I don't think I think that when the end times comes, Christianity as a culture, as a cultural power, is going to be long gone.
Yeah, and my bad. I wasn't meaning to talk over you. I was trying to affirm with you, trying to.
It's like they don't know how to respond to. It's a bit off and kind of like I would say strange to any belief I ever had about end times.
Shout you out with an amen. Hey guys, I'm gonna have to take off. I've got something going on. But God bless each of you, no matter whether we agree on stuff.
Hey, what's
no
up, Kenny Rhodes?
We disagree on
Dr. Kenny
stuff.
Rhodes?
You know, you guys are fellow brothers in Christ, and I'm so happy that we have a community that we can talk to, and that we can gather, and that we can, commune with and stuff. Smokey, Beckel, Praise, all of you, Jamie, all of you guys, everybody here. So I appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna dip out.
Likewise,
but I just want you guys to
Why
know
the
that
hell
y'all
do you appreciate
are
Jamie?
appreciated, even though. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate your point of view. I don't care if it's
I
right.
warned you
I don't
guys,
care
it's
if
going to be
it's
slow
wrong.
rolling at first, but we're about to start getting to it. It's not going to take long.
We're all people. I'll take the good and I'll go with it. The bad I will try and discard. But as long as we are all,
let's just
about
all
Christ
hold
and
hands
stuff.
across America.
You
Hey,
don't believe
Sled-
in bringing correction when it's due, though? I'm just
Hey,
curious.
Smokey, I'm a kumbaya with you, bro. One day, me and you gonna meet up. We gonna kumbaya, homie.
Sledge, we appreciate you. Could you
better
do
bet
us
we
a
don't
big
have to force
favor?
it.
Could you do us a big
Hey,
favor,
I could do
Sledge,
you
in the private chat?
I could do
Could
you the
leave us
biggest favor, homie.
Okay, thanks. Could you leave us the coordinates for your bug out shelter?
Except that, homie. Hey, I tell you what, it's the command center, Angel Grove. Go ahead and Google that, and that's where it is. Okay, Command Center, Angel Grove. You can find Gordon or
Christians
Zordon
are so
in there,
silly.
right with Alpha and the Pink Ranger.
Okay, I've got my rice and beans and load it up, and I'll be on standby.
Nice.
All right, guys. God bless you all. Thank you all for the
bless.
God bless.
fellowship and the strengthening of
Yes,
everything. And I
yes.
hope to talk to you all again soon. Y'all
too.
take
All
care.
right.
Take care.
Take
Hopefully
care,
I'll be
buddy.
back on
Bye-bye.
tonight. All right.
All right,
later,
man.
All
guys.
right. God bless.
Peace, man.
So, was there more to that video that you were playing a few minutes ago? I just saw a minute of it. Was it really 5 minutes of that?
I have to comment. I'm a brother now, so.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're not hip to Praise's channel, he does that stupid shit. I'll be involved with that a lot. You've already seen my face flashing. They don't get me with the whole brother thing. Like, dude is just like, I love all of you. Thanks for being my brothers. And I'm like sitting there just like, yep, odd man out.
Did you
Black
accept,
kind or
did you
Christian
accept
kind?
the free grace gospel or OSAS or something like that?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what kind of brother, the black kind?
Yeah,
or the
why is
Christian
Rage a
kind?
brother?
All right,
Did
here
he
we go.
accept OSAS or something?
Well, no, like dude was thinking all the brothers and shit. I'm like, I'm here too.
Undercover brother.
Veckel really, really does not like me, guys. You might pick up on that really, really, really quickly.
What's the movie? Did you guys ever seen that Undercover Brother?
Don't believe I have.
It was pretty funny, I think. It was it was out for a while.
And
Well, I mean,
Owen,
Rage is still got to be saved with the free grace gospel. So if
Oh,
free
I-
grace is
I was about to
true-
say,
Yeah.
I thought you guys got him right with that, didn't you? Not too long ago.
Praise, didn't I convert you? With
Where the
free
hell?
grace gospel?
Who is Chris Keith? Because I recognize that. Oh, there you are. Damn, I didn't see you in the room. All right, what's up, Chris Keith?
What's up, buddy? Hey, a long time
Yo,
no
what's
see.
up, Rage? Glad you're coming in, man. What's up? Are you?
Yeah, well, I was streaming earlier, so like I saw that y'all were talking OSAS, so I'm like, I'll jump in here, and then you're talking about something else.
you sassy sasser.
We can get back around to it. I was going to ask you, Praise, was there more to that video, or whoever played that video, was there more to that? I just saw a minute and something. It looks like there's 5 minutes of the video. That
Oh
channel.
yeah. There's more to it. Yeah, we'll put it up there if you want to watch it.
Well, I mean, you can if you
Might
want.
as well, yeah. See what
Yeah.
Jamie has to offer here. Yeah, there's a lot about Jamie you guys don't know about.
Who made this?
Well, the rest of that is me calling out Jamie for his
Okay.
disgusting character. So
All right, so we're about to get to the complimentary section. If you look in the description, I described this stream as going from compliments to a dog pile in the blink of an eye. Now you've already heard Veckel pipe in a little bit. I made the brother comment. I'm a brother now. They didn't quite get it. I had explained. He said that we're all Christian brothers here, and I'm like, nope, atheist. And then he asked me, Veckel had to pipe in, what kind of brother are you? You a black brother? So he's already got his panties all up in a bunch and shit. He's already offended that, the raging atheist is there, does not like me. We've had a couple really, really hot discussions, me and Veckel. And at some point during the stream, we're going to agree on a discussion on his channel. I think it's going to be the 20th of this month. It's going to happen. I'm looking forward to it. Going to be some good shit, y'all. Gonna be some good shit.
feel free to play it if you
That's
want.
fine.
Go
You
ahead.
can just leave the link or something. I thought it was all like a.
I want to play a little bit of it, though. I'm just
Sure, go ahead. Do what you.
Yeah, here you
That's
go.
my idea.
Yeah, boy.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Thank you for that apology, Ken Hovind. Yeah, me and Smokey are gonna get into the mix tonight. Last night. So, the good grace period I guess both of us have been having with each other is kind of over. But at the same time, I still we'll keep our integrity as we go along. Okay. But oh man, at the very end of this thing, I can't help it. I do break that out at the very end of this thing. I ain't gonna lie, because when Smokey Saint is sitting there trying to make the case that I'm a pedo lover, when I've never had any issues with that, cropping up about my name, well, it might become, part of the story.
I do want to address something with Jamie Russell, and for the 20 or so people watching right now, and of course you guys in the room, Jamie has tried to defend himself, and I'm not going to allow it. I'm not going to allow it. I might even set up a special stream to just make it the primary topic. I'm just not going to allow it. I'm not.
Well, and as far as I know, she wasn't 6, Hovind CP. I think the common thing is she was 14. And I just do speak on that, and that is kind of, I do, I meant to mention this earlier. That is another thing I do regret about last night, because I've been trying not to go there with Smokey. Again, like I said, it's really a non-factor. Whether it was Smokey or not, the person, while charged, was never convicted. Nobody knows the whole story. The story came out, but I do regret that. I shouldn't allow an emotional response. I shouldn't sink to that level. The point of these is really trying to hone my patience, hone my ability not to lash out with emotional responses. And so I meant to say that that's one of the things that I do regret about this stream, is the fact that I do end up doing that. Even I think it's true. From what I know, I think it's true, and I don't think Smokey has went and proven it untrue at all. I think he goes out of his way to avoid it, or to obfuscate, or displace the blame onto something else. But he hasn't really done anything to convince anybody that was not him. So yeah, I do want to keep our integrity as we go along. So let's not dox the person in the side chat.
We're going to allow someone to try and make scumbaggery, actual vile, deceptive scumbaggery, as virtuous and try to defend themselves. I'm just not going to allow it. And what he's done is he's claimed that by coming in here and
real quick, and I'll let it get back to playing. I do kind of like Dr. Kenny Rose, and you guys are going to have your conversations in the side chat. But let's. I'm not saying anybody's being disrespectful. You know me, I don't really read side chat that often, but let's try to keep it respectful if possible. Dr. Kenny's, we've been talking off and on for a while now, so it's definitely a relationship I respect more than the relationship I have with like Smokey Saint or something.
I guess you would say disgust with himself. He came in here and said that there was no chance that I was going to be able to pull together any money for Dr. Kenny. He came in here. Now he claims that the justification for that was so that he could inspire people to give me more money by making himself, an object of like, oh, well, Jamie's just bombastically claiming and insulting Smokey. And
I'm willing to sell crack for Kenny. Like, there's nothing. Is that bad? Come on, Smokey.
You want to go sell crack for Kenny? I promise you, Kenny doesn't want you selling crack for him. I assure you.
Well, yeah,
crack for Kenny.
It was just sort of like a little jest thing going on. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of scummy though. Like if he's going to try to induce what that SFT did. Remember that night where he was trying to.
That's what I said. That's what I ended up saying. It's the exact same tactic. It was an emotional grift, and don't bring that in my house. The young earthers are fine with grifting for money. I'm not. So leave that crap over there with the other young earthers. Don't bring it into my house.
Or Tim Henderson. Tim Henderson's another.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, exactly.
Chelsea Bedell. Oh, yeah.
There's that other clip Basement has where Jamie Russell is the little ventriloquist dummy on Ellen White's lap, where it shows him saying a bunch of crap and defending his position. That's a good video too.
All right, here we are.
That is. But out of all the people, Raging Atheist would be the last person I would ever think that would criticize OSAS. Isn't that amazing?
No, this is a great comment, actually. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rage.
Yeah, I've just, I used to be OSAS, and it's like, I'm an atheist. I truly thought I was a Christian, and I'm not anymore. So either, by your worldview, the devil led me away from that, or, I didn't think what I thought back then,
Yeah, I mean, you're fine. You're saved, man. Your grace, infinite grace for you, Rage. Yeah, fun, cool.
Like, well, I'm curious to know about Rage. What is OSAS to you, though? What is it? What do you think OSAS is?
All right, so compliments. Oh, Rage, great comment, great input. Blink of an eye. Like I put in the description, blink of an eye, because Veckel can't have that. You cannot give legitimacy to the Raging Atheist on your live stream. What the fuck is wrong with you? Idiots! I mean, once saved, always saved. Most of my interpretation comes from like the NIFB that I've dealt with recently. But I was Southern Baptist, so I clearly remember going to the sermons and listening to that stuff. OSAS is basically, you know, if you're a true follower of Christ, you can't be led astray. So there's, you know, there's no way I, as an atheist, was ever a true follower of Christ.
You said you were never born again, correct?
Could that be true though?
Or you never thought?
I mean, because now you're a professing atheist. Is it possible that you were never truly saved?
I mean, I guess it's possible. Sure. I mean, if what I thought at the time bears just no legitimacy to the reality of what I was at the time, I guess.
Or if you were, you just lost it. I mean, that's a.
Like, is it possible you didn't feel the way that you thought you felt, or is it possible you didn't live the reality that you actually lived? Is it possible, Rage, that you're just completely lying about once being a Christian? Like, that's so far-fetched. It's so hard to believe that somebody in America was once a Christian and now an atheist. I think that the vast majority of atheists in America were probably at one point Christians. I'm sorry, Christians, you don't like that fact, but yeah, I guess it's possible I was never saved, depending on, you know, what fucking tradition you follow or how you might view me now as a person compared to the person that you never got a chance to experience, the Christian that I used to be. You probably would have liked that person. I was bigoted, I was racist, all those things that all of these Christians seem to really, really enjoy. So I think they would have liked that iteration of myself, but unfortunately they only know the 44-year-old raging atheist. So of course I couldn't possibly have ever been a Christian ever in my life, ever.
That's what happens. You can lose your salvation. Yeah.
See, that's where that's where the thin line between.
To me, if the devil is real, then it would be attacking real Christians as opposed to people on the fence. The people on the fence are probably going to go one way or the other, either way. Yeah. If you're the devil, it seems like your focus would be on true Christians.
Wow, that's well said, actually. You know what, Rage? I mean, I've gained more respect
but then again, though,
Rage has these moments of incredible clarity at times, like that.
I know. What's Rage?
So all the love, all the compliments, but you hear Vecco. Vecco can't stand that shit. He can't, like, how are you guys going to give this dude anything right now? Don't worry. It doesn't last for long. Try sometimes, you know.
Well, you also have to know, you also have to understand, though, the arbitrary nature of the devil, too. Remember how, you know, he's insidious. He's absolutely evil.
Well, sure.
So he'll do things that make absolutely no sense just because he's that evil.
If the devil's real, even as an atheist, I'm sure that he would spend time on me, working on me, right? But like his main focus, his main passion would have to be to convert the true followers of his
God's
main enemy,
people,
right?
Correct.
To get people away from the truth of Christ, yeah.
Rage is nailing it. Rage is nailing it. Knows the devil isn't going to spend time with people that he already owns.
All right, so and Smokey's coming with the compliments, and I think that maybe Smokey's been running into some issues with that because we have been on kind of nicer terms lately, and even my audience, they don't like that shit, and I'm sure and I imagine that his audience don't like that shit, so he might be facing some like background pressure, and then like he's giving me all these compliments right now. That shit can't fly for long, right? So it's funny because the whole time that Vecco's going to start, guys, because Vecco's going to start, and he's already started, like Smokey's just sitting there. All right, now it's time. It's time to go and fucking rage again. So it's coming, y'all. Like I said, blink of an eye.
That's true.
Busty bimbo, I'm fine with burning in hell, honestly. Someone says in the gutter.
Okay, good riddance.
I might have said that a few times in my stream tonight. I just might have.
So, question for the panel. Yeah. Do you think SFT would say Rage is saved and his medical issues now are chastisement from God? Do you think SFT will be consistent? That's a good question, actually. Thank you.
He probably would.
That's honestly a really good question because I've had several people in my life tell me like my medical issues are chastisement from God. Even my own Christian channel. Even my own dad has said that several times. It's true.
Well, I mean, it could be right now.
the Bible does say you reapeth what you sow. So I'm just saying, like, if I don't know what your medical issues are from, but if it's something that you caused on yourself, then
No, it's hereditary. I got it from my
okay,
mom.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you would
SFT.
have
I
to
guarantee you, a free
Mm.
gracer would definitely say that. I believe that.
Yeah,
A free
also, but
gracer would
We know
definitely take that
Charles
position.
would.
yeah, I just want to point this out. According to SFT, and for that matter, Charles from Lehman Seminary, I, as a baptized Roman Catholic, as a convert from essentially their cult, am in fact saved. And so they probably would not be consistent as far as like rages are concerned, because I'm noticing
Yeah,
that.
no, Fro,
But
that's your problem right there.
hold on. I'm noticing that oftentimes who they will say saved and unsaved really comes down to popularity, to be honest.
Oh, I was just going to speak on that actually. See, because I think what it all boils down to really is exactly what I think Paul said in Timothy, that the God knows them, only God knows them that are his. So temporally speaking, we can't really speak on anyone's salvific status except for by the things that they say and do. And from
I
that point on,
agree
temporally
100%.
speaking, we can only do one of several things. Number one, this person's preaching heresy. Okay, it's possible that God could have them be one of the elect, but since they're preaching heresy, we're going to kick them out of the church, or we're going to have them step down, so on and so forth, right? But at the same time, it's circumstantial evidence that the person's not saved, or it could be circumstantial evidence that the person is not saved because of what they're preaching, because of what they're espousing. So it's really tough sometimes. So I think these heresies need to be called out. But
Antinomianism, yeah.
to go beyond that, to say that this person or that person is not saved, that's only God's call.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
For Rage, for example, I think he's on his way to hell. But if Rage did actually believe sincerely, that's between him and God. I as a fallible, finite human being,
All right, so remember that, because he's like, that's between me and God. If I at one point believed and I no longer do, then he can't possibly know that. So remember that as he goes on about telling me I couldn't possibly have ever believed in God.
Subject to the laws that God has put in this world. I don't know what God's plans are for Rage ultimately.
I fully grant that if God exists, I'm going to hell, without a doubt. At least the God that I believed in when I was a believer. My thing as an atheist is I just stopped believing in that, and I can't help not believing in it. It's just it is what I am now.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Well, I'll
more
tell
about
you
the
what,
gospel
Rage,
than SFT.
I'll tell you what. If free grace is true, I'll probably be with you in hell. And that's okay. Because I'd rather be with Rage in hell for eternity than with the free gracers in heaven for
Man,
eternity.
I'll turn you on. I'll turn you on to some good blunt,
Yeah.
Smokey. It'll be some good blunts.
Beautiful.
Man, Cobino, you will be the blunt in hell. What are you talking about?
Well, I made that point recently. Like if you stop and think about it, because you're right.
You're the one that's going to be getting smoked.
I would be the one getting smoked by demons, right? Like the true enemies of God.
No, the demons will be getting smoked too.
Everybody's getting smoked.
How
this is the Bible doesn't teach Dante's Inferno. Okay,
I was about to say you've like never read Dante, huh?
The Dante's Inferno is not the Bible. Okay, the demons will be suffering punishment as well. So.
But where does it really say that though? I don't really get where it says that.
Have you not read the book of Revelation?
I mean, I've read it, but it doesn't
Satan,
really make much sense.
How the beast and the Antichrist will be cast in the lake of fire as well.
Well, I mean, they'll be cast into the abyss, but like that, it doesn't. I mean, it's been a long time since I've really read Revelations. I do remember, like, I was trying to break it down when I first started the channel, and I didn't get very far into that. So it's probably been quite a few years since I've actually read Revelations. Maybe that'll be something that I do. We'll jump forward in the Bible study, and the Bible is stupid, and start looking at Revelations, because I never really remember that. Like I even I remember being preached hellfire and going to hell when I going to Sunday school and getting that indoctrination really young. and it was the pastors were even telling me, you know, the demons are gonna be like just torturing you, and you're gonna be burning all day every day, and you're gonna die at the end of the day, and then you wake up the next day and it all starts over again for eternity and eternity and eternity, you know. And they painted this very Dante picture that I can recall of actually going to church and learning of such things as a child. So, you know, I don't know, I find it. Maybe Veckel really believes that, but is that really a Christian thought, that, you know, the demons are burning right there alongside of everybody else? Because that's not what I remember from being a Christian. Now, again, I haven't been a Christian really for 25 years, probably at the max, 20 to 25 years. So, not 25 because I'm 44. That would have made me 19. We'll call it like 22 years probably that I've been at least a non-Christian, non-believer. It doesn't necessarily they're going to be like
no the
burning.
lake of fire, not the abyss, the lake of
so,
fire.
So who's going to be roasting us?
Like smoke of their torment will go up.
Who's going to be overseeing our torment then? If
that's going to be God, that's going to be God doing that. Yeah. Right.
So God is going to be like overseeing the torment of the human beings he loves?
Of course, he's everywhere. He's omnipresent.
What a horrible being.
I know. Isn't God a monster? That's one of the reasons why you're an atheist now, because you can't handle the moral objectivity.
Like seriously, if a human were to like,
I know,
if a human were to like have like, you know, humans roasting on a rotisserie, would we not find that monstrous?
Yeah, I could never worship a God like that who just sticks the fork on sinners to keep them from climbing out of hell. I know.
You know, it says God.
It's one of the sorriest excuses of people rejecting the doctrine of Christ is because I can't worship.
Well, so I mean, that quick, y'all. Like we go from compliment to, God damn it, me and Veckel are fighting. You know, and Veckel, you know, he ain't taking none of this. Veckel is, you know, he heard enough compliments of your boy. Your Christians respecting this fucking atheist. What is wrong with these people? Oh, and then I went and did that, didn't I? Oh, that sucks. I hate it when I do that shit. So let's get back to where I was at, if I can even find it anymore. We weren't too far into it. I hate it when I do that shit. Thinking all the brothers and shit. I'm like, I'm here too.
Undercover.
A little bit farther ahead.
Is the little.
Wow, it's well.
At that point on, temporally speaking, we can only do
their cult. Am in fact saved, and so.
Believe that.
We'll let it play from
here.
Yeah,
we know Charles would.
Yeah, I just want to point this out. According to SFT, and for that matter, Charles from Layman Seminary, I, as a baptized Roman Catholic, as a convert from essentially their cult, am in fact saved. And so they probably would not be consistent as far as like rages are concerned, because I'm noticing that.
No, pro. That's your problem right there.
I'm noticing that oftentimes who they will say saved and unsaved really comes down to popularity, to be honest.
Oh, I was just going to speak on that actually. See, because I think what it all boils down to really is exactly what I think Paul said in Timothy, that only God knows them that are his. So temporally speaking, we can't really speak on anyone's salvific status
I was ahead
except
of this.
for by the
So
the demons will be getting smoked too.
Everybody's getting smoked.
Well, there we go. Well, how
this is the Bible doesn't teach Dante's Inferno. Okay,
I was about to say you've like never read Dante, huh?
The demons, the Dante's Inferno is not the Bible. Okay, the demons will be suffering punishment as well. You know. So.
But where does it really say that though? I don't really get where it says that.
Have you not read the book of Revelation?
I mean, I've read it, but it doesn't Satan, really make much sense.
How the beast and the Antichrist will be cast in the lake of fire as well.
Well, I mean, they'll be cast into the abyss, but like that, it doesn't necessarily. They're going to be like
no, the
burning.
lake of fire, not the abyss, the lake of fire.
So who's going to be roasting us?
Like smoke of their torment will go up.
Who's going to be over? I don't really think it says, you know, like that. I think it says like the seven-headed beast is thrown into the abyss, right? I mean, it's all how you interpret it. We're seeing our torment then. If that's
going to be God, that's going to be God doing that. Yeah. Right.
So God is going to be like overseeing the torment of the human beings he loves?
Of course, he's everywhere. He's omnipresent.
What a horrible being.
I know. Isn't God a monster? That's one of the reasons why you're an atheist now, because you can't handle the moral objectivity.
like
God.
definitely a Ford. I've always been a Ford dude, Puff. Seriously,
I know.
if
I
if
know.
a human
God's a moral
were
monster.
to like
I know.
if a human were to like have like humans roasting on a rotisserie, would we not find that
I know.
monstrous?
Yeah, I could never
That's
worship
not
a
a
God
Well,
like that who just sticks
there's
the
a
fork on
huge
What
sinners
if
to
God
keep them from
laughs at
climbing
you
out of
when you're in
hell. I
hell?
know. I know.
Raging. Did you know it says God
It's
will
one of the
laugh at your
sorriest excuses
calamity?
of people rejecting the doctrine of Christ is because I can't worship
Well,
a
I
God like
actually
that.
all right. So we are beyond the compliment stage of the stream, and we are just now completely into Christian disdain for anything atheist, the way atheists might think about things. Must dismiss it. Must dismiss the human being, the person, and the things that are being said. I appreciate, at least in that version, God's true enemies burn as well. I mean, because a lot of Christians don't really
As
necessarily
well?
think that.
Wait.
I mean, a
No,
lot
no,
of
the only
Christians
ones
just
that will
don't
be burning are
necessarily
his
think
enemies.
that.
What do you mean as
Well,
well?
it's not like the demons are down there having a party, and
Well, wouldn't
enjoying
they be
He
like?
themselves.
rage things. He thinks there's just a bunch of
Wouldn't they be
marijuana
though?
down there.
Well, not just marijuana, but like spades and craps and shit.
This
as
isn't
well,
Rodney
you know?
Dangerfield's
What?
hell. Come
No
on,
respect.
Rage.
No respect at all.
The demons already know what's coming.
Like, aren't the demons in
Yeah, they
hell?
do.
I don't understand. Like, none of this
No.
really
No.
makes much sense.
They're not in Gehenna. Not right now.
No,
That you're separated from God.
So,
Okay.
so right
That's
now
the
they're like
content.
they're fighting that like
God's love.
spiritual battle and shit all around us. So, like, do demons and angels still use swords, or are they using gats and
Oh
AKs?
gosh.
spiritual warfare, man.
It's spiritual, bro.
I don't think they detect my sarcasm.
I mean, if they have swords, I don't know. The Bible doesn't talk about the demons, what weapons, what items.
Y'all
they
have
use
never
to
read
deceive
like really
people.
good Christian
There'll be
fiction,
some
have you?
sword fighting.
No, we read the Bible. Yeah, well, of course we do.
Like,
We
you
read
don't
the
even
Bible.
read Christian fiction, like Christian fiction.
Yeah, but what we're talking about what the Bible says. There's nothing
we've
wrong with
read
Christian fiction.
But
we
in
just- sometimes
fairness,
we
he
see it
thinks
as
the Bible is
authoritative.
Christian fiction. So
Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah,
do. That's
fine.
true. But no, I'm speaking like, real quick. I'll turn my camera back on for this because I'm smoking a bowl. But my favorite Christian fictional author ever, I believe his name is Michael Peretti, and he had these really great books. I read them when I was a Christian, when I was a teenager, and they were books about the spiritual war. So that when I say things like angels and demons, sword fighting, that's literally what this a lot of this Christian fiction portrays, is this spiritual battle going on around you all the time. You just can't see it. And these were really good books. It had Michael the Archangel in there. I mean, they were really well written Christian fictional books. I was a big reader of fiction at the time, and I've always kind of attributed, even though Stephen King was like the first person I've ever really read. Like I went to the library, I think it was 7th grade. It was Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. Just picked a book by random out of the library because I had to write a book report, and read that book, fell in love with reading, been reading ever since. And yeah, so Michael Peretti and many Christian fictional authors were really expand upon this idea of a spiritual war going around us at all times, and it makes for really good fiction. Sometimes really bad fiction. Other times, some people do it really well. Some people do it really badly. But I find it like they don't even read that shit. It's strictly the Bible for these people. Nothing else. Nothing else can penetrate that. And I find that just sad.
Wait a minute, Rage, the more you open your mouth, Rage, the more and more you're letting all of us know here why you're actually an atheist now. It's because you never actually believed the gospel. You didn't believe the gospel, did you?
Oh,
sure.
Not the
I
true
don't know.
gospel.
he
You don't
has
know the
said-
true
I
gospel.
You're speaking a lot. You're speaking a lot of. You're speaking a lot of
definitely-
ignorance right now
I
about Christian
definitely
theology.
don't believe the
And
gospel.
you actually believe that this
now.
is real.
See, like, they literally don't get the sarcasm as I was going through that. As I was responding to just the animosity and vitriol that was coming from Veckel from the very start. I respond in kind. Everybody knows that about me. Yes, I was being facetious in my response, doing so intentionally. And you can't pick up on that. You don't have that human ability to be able to pick up on that, even though I think that it's, especially watching it back now, I think it's like really clearly evident that that's exactly what happened.
That
Great
the
point.
stuff
I definitely don't
in
believe the
Dante's,
gospel now.
Do you believe? Did you
You don't
believe?
even know the gospel, Rage. You're talking about marijuana and shit and
Right,
hell. Like,
yeah,
come on.
yeah, right.
I was like it's clearly a joke, It's it's clearly a joke. Seriously, it was a joke, dude.
His
Okay.
girlfriend
I
went to
bet.
church.
Wait a minute.
Rage,
I bet
what's the
Rage-
gospel?
Hold
Rage,
on.
what's the gospel?
I bet Rage could. I'm not.
They just don't get that. I'm an atheist. Where's my damn button at? Let me turn my button back on. I'm an atheist, right? Like I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. I think it's fiction. That is my perspective. That is my belief. And I present that to you. And I kind of just send you this hogposh of nonsense because quite literally what you believe in is nonsense. And you can't even pick up, like when I say, we'll smoke a blunt in hell, like that's clearly a joke. Clearly, if hell does exist, you're not going to be smoking blunts there. You're going to be burning. It's a joke. Be human a little bit. It's okay.
I'm actually going to take a bet on Rage's benefit here. I bet Rage can actually tell us what the gospel is. I bet he knows it. Go ahead.
Well, I mean,
Go ahead,
the
Rich.
gospel, what the canon. All right, so, all right, I'll just let it play. Canonical gospel. You're talking the first 4 books of the New
Canonical?
Testament, right?
Oh my
No,
god.
Synoptic,
I mean,
you mean?
like the gospel of Jesus.
You see?
Bring Big Shades in. He'll talk.
Okay,
Bring,
The
bring
gospel
Big
is
in.
the gospel of Jesus. Those
Hey,
are the
Free
first
Graces,
4
I hope
books.
you're listening to this.
All right, so like the way remembering it, like because I'm watching this back for the first time. Like I really thought it was a Veckel that approached this first, but it was Smokey. The way that Smokey kind of presents his question, it's just like, like what are you even talking about? It's kind of out of left field, out of nowhere. And of course, like I haven't been a Christian in what I said, like 22 years, so. I'm not going to give you the Christian response you're looking for. Like when you ask me what is the gospel, I'm like, what are you even talking about? You talking about like the first 4 books of the Bible? Are you talking about the whole thing? But he's not. And eventually they're going to tell you the answer that they're looking for. You might know the answers. I mean, I think that once the answer is presented, it's like common sense. Oh yeah, that's how Christians look at it. Kill me, I forgot about that. But the gospel is good news, right? Of course you should answer in the way that the Christians want you to answer, but I don't answer that way. I ask for a clarifying question, like, what are you talking about specifically? Are you talking about the entire New Testament? Are you talking about all of Scripture? Are you talking about the first 4 books of the Bible, which are called the canonical Gospels? The Gospel of Jesus Christ are the first 4 books. So, I'm asking a clarifying question. They don't seem to really understand that at all. Which is important as we move forward.
This guy used to be saved,
Bring
but he
Vicky
doesn't
in.
know the
He'll tell us
gospel
the
now.
gospel.
Okay.
The gospel is a message. What is the
I have
message?
been a hardcore atheist for over 20 years, my dude.
He forgot.
But wait, hold on, Rage. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they are literally like want you to just answer this question this very specific way. Like this is like this gotcha question. It's first time a Christian's ever really asked the question, so I'll give it up to Smokey for that because I wasn't prepared for it. Hadn't thought about this in years and years and years. Yeah, Christians say a lot of stupid shit like that. The gospel is the good news of Jesus Christ, and of course a real Christian would have answered that way, but I'm not a real Christian. I'm a goddamn atheist.
Not an excuse though, Rage. Rage, that's
Math.
not an
You don't
excuse.
use it,
Rage,
you
here's
lose.
So
Rage,
I mean,
here's
what
why
are-
that statement of yours is not an excuse to say I haven't read the
we
Bible.
went from
You're on
propping
your
up
channel
Rage. Oh my
almost
God,
every
Rage
other
is so
day,
brilliant.
making
So now,
comments about what
let's
Christians
bash on
believe.
Rage.
Don't
I
sit here and
love
tell
it.
me that the reason why
Okay.
you don't know the gospel is
Becco,
because
do
you
you-
haven't read the Bible in
Becco,
such a
do
long
you
time.
Think about me all the time.
No. Did you hear what I said to you? I'm gonna say it to you one more time. Do not sit here and tell us that the reason why you don't know the gospel is because you haven't read the Bible in over 20 years.
Right.
Dude,
That
I
is
read the
bullcrap.
Bible on
You're
my-
on your channel almost every
Becco,
other
all right,
day
nonsense.
talking sugar.
All right, I'm gonna let him go because I mean this is what Veckel does, right? And it's complete nonsense. Like I read the Bible all the time. I literally have a series on my channel called "The Bible Is Stupid," where I'm reading the actual Bible, verse by verse, chapter by chapter. I'm really slow at it, and I've been jumping around because I get bored with certain. I get bored reading the same shit. I want to read different parts of it. I think that's gonna revitalize it. I think I'm gonna start doing some live streams about it. I've talked about doing that in the past. So it's like no, like dude. No, I just didn't answer the question in the very specific way that you guys are all looking for. Like, that's really, honestly, the stupid answer, in my opinion. The good news. Good news of what? Of how to be a douchebag?
Smack
Smokey,
about
tell this
Christians
dude I
and
be
what we
reading the
believe.
Bible on my channel
That means
now?
that you should have the knowledge to reiterate what any of us believe. Otherwise, all of the non-stuff that you're saying on your channel is bullcrap, man.
That
So don't
goes-
sit here and tell us that you don't know the gospel. What? Let us hear the gospel right now. Come on.
Why do you love me, Veckel?
I want to hear the gospel, Rage.
Yeah, I'm notoriously bad for looking at the side chat. Looks like there's a war going on there. Y'all have fun with that. Just try to keep it respectful. You know, don't take advantage of me not looking at the side chat, because I do have like OCD. I get really super focused and all that shit.
Let's hear it.
You want to hear the gospel?
Yeah, I want you to tell us the gospel. You got time to Google it. Come on.
I don't need to Google it to tell you the gospel.
Well, tell me the gospel then.
Do it.
Right,
What's the gospel? You used to be saved, right? You used to be a Christian. You on your channel every day talking about ridiculing Christians, ridiculing our theology. Surely you should know what the gospel is, right? So let's hear it.
Why you fuss a curse?
Let's hear the gospel. Come on.
Dogpile.
Look at it. He won't say anything. All right, I'll drop it. He won't say it. He's on his channel every day, making fun of Christians, talking sugar smack about us, but yet he doesn't know the gospel. Okay, gotcha.
Veckel,
I got
can I talk?
Yeah, I want to hear the gospel.
Then shut the fuck up.
Okay, well, all right, well, come on,
That's
let's hear
not
it.
the gospel.
That's not the gospel. That's not the gospel.
Do you want the ghetto gospel? Do you want?
All right, that's it. That's it. We're
Ghetto
done. We're done.
gospel.
All right, next. Next.
Okay,
Christians
He doesn't know
know
the
the gospel.
He doesn't know the
why we work
gospel.
this
Which
ministry.
gospel do you want? Like,
He doesn't know the
Are
gospel.
we talking the gospel of Jesus Christ,
Okay,
or
thank
what
you, thank
gospel
you.
are we talking about?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't know. You talk so
Have-
much, but you haven't really
Thank you.
articulated
Thank you.
your
Have a nice day.
question. Again, so yeah, he's looking for a really very specific answer here. I'm just trying to clarify. All right, what gospel? And the ghetto gospel, again, if you, I'll say it at some point during the stream. If you've never heard Tupac's ghetto gospel, you just haven't heard music. Clarify. Explain to me what you mean, or give me the goddamn answer. But this dogpile, this pile on, because, you know, like, the good news of Christ is just obviously not coming to my head in this moment. Call me stupid. Call me stupid. And how do you think I'm going to react? Like, you know, I think that, you know, I do lose my cool a couple times. But I think overall I do kind of like, I handle it. I'm able to stay chill. Even because it gets a lot worse. This is just the preamble. You know, this was just the preamble. This is the beginning of the dog pile. But Smokey ain't really in it yet. Not really.
You say, now wait a minute. Now, guys, gentlemen, anyone here in this room who professes to be of Christ, when I ask you
Do I
what is
profess
the
to be
gospel,
of Christ?
when I ask you what is the gospel, right? Are you going
What
to
is
tell
my
me, Mark?
name, bitch?
Wait, hold on. When
What
I
is my
ask you
name,
what
bitch?
is the gospel, are you going to tell me Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John?
What is my name, bitch?
I'm
No.
not saying that. No.
Right,
So what's
right.
the gospel? Like the whole.
I'm going to
New
tell you
Testament?
that's exactly what happened to me
I'm
a few
still
years
asking
ago.
him to, like,
A couple of
clarify.
Mormons
He
came
just
to my
won't do it.
a couple of Mormons came to my house.
I mean, is it all of Scripture? Is it what you cherry pick in the Old Testament? Just tell me. You know, I mean, you're looking, and no shit, guys. The answer they're looking for is the good news. That's what they're looking for. Like, then just tell me that. But you gotta be, you know, you had me tackled, but now you gotta start piling on. You gotta, you know, throw a fucking elbow.
They knocked on my door like they always do. They said hi, but yada yada yada. And then I asked them, hey, before we begin this conversation, let me just ask you, what is the gospel? And they said, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I said, well, that's the gospels, but what is the gospel? And not a single one of them knew what the heck I was talking about. Yet they're out in the streets, you know, trying to bring people to Christ.
Am I out in the
To
streets trying to
Mormonism.
bring people to Christ?
Now here we have Rage, who calls himself a competent atheist in this community. He's
When
on
do
his
I ever
channel
call myself a
every day.
competent atheist?
You're on your channel every day talking
Like,
all the
do you
sugar smack
even
about
watch me,
Christianity,
though?
and yet you can't even reiterate what any of us believe.
Smokey, all right, I'm gonna
Can
put
you or
reason
can
here.
you not
Hey,
tell
Rage,
us
better to
what
get
the
your
gospel
feet held to
is?
the fire now.
Well,
Shut up,
Rage,
Becco. Smokey,
Rage
do
knows
I
about
ever?
Genesis, right?
He can't
You
do
know
it.
about
It sounds like
Genesis,
thick
right?
shades all over again.
Hold on,
Smokey, do I
It's
ever
thick shades
call
all
my-
over again, guys.
like Vecco just never lets anybody talk. This is like Vecco's style. So I'm really looking forward to conversation on the 20th because I might say 10 words, maybe 10 words. I might get 10 words in edgewise, maybe. Fuck up. Smokey, do I ever call myself a competent atheist?
I really don't think you've ever described yourself that way.
but you behave, but Rage, you behave this way in this arrogant
love
attitude
myself.
of yours on your channel, as if what you have to say should be taken seriously. So if this is the
think I'm
case, if you
arrogant?
want this kind of respect, bro, at
You think
least
I'm
reiterate
arrogant?
to every one of us in this room right now what the gospel is. What is it?
The gospel is zombie man rose from
Man,
the
shut the
dead.
hell up. Shut up. Shut up. You're done. You're done.
Zombie man rose from the
So,
dead.
guys,
and appeared
if
to
you
all- this is going to become important, all right? And I have to ask you, chat. And I know you guys are having a very serious conversation about, Smokey Saint in the side chat. I haven't noticed the name. As long as I'm not seeing the name, I believe the dude did it, but that's my opinion. I don't think it'll go away for Smokey until he proves that it's not him. Unfortunately, I had shit to do with that. I had a couple streams on it. I have my opinion. But I, as long as I'm not seeing that name, I really don't care the conversation. But I'd like to hear from you guys. Should I be like taking this respectfully? Should I be? I asked, several times for, just clarify what you mean, or just, looking back on this now, like just give me the answer that you think that I should be popping out. But you got to do that dog pile. You got to be insulting. You've got to pretty much just dismiss or not give me a chance to say anything. Should I be respectful? That's an important question. And, I'd love to hear your feedback as we continue.
Looking for brain-numbing entertainment, go subscribe to Rage's channel. Okay? But don't look to him as some sort of Peter Atkins.
He could not stand.
Or you can't debate anybody in this room, even over the most simplest things. You know
hate
why?
me
Because
so
you don't know
much.
jack
You
crap.
couldn't stand Christians complimenting me.
Shut
And now
up,
you're
man.
triggered
Shut up.
as fuck.
Nobody here takes you seriously
Like,
because you don't even
honestly,
know what the gospel is.
If you want dick pics, I'll send them to you.
You don't even know what the gospel is, you idiot. What is the gospel? He doesn't know it. So
I really don't like it when I do that shit, and I'm giving an emotional response. So of course I am, and I don't think I get too disrespectful. I do rein in my chill. The whole point of me doing these things is to really try to keep my chill. But I do make these comments, and I really hate when I make these comments because they're emotional reactions. And if you weren't here for the beginning of the show, I'm going to reiterate it. When I do these things, I think I'm being bigoted. I think I'm being bigoted by trying to insult these people with being something that they find insulting. And being gay, being trans, being whatever you are is not an insult. So this is something that I'm really trying to work on. And yes, I actually agree with Conrad. I should try to keep that upper level of the hill here, and I do rein myself in, and I do think I keep myself pretty chill as we go through this, but it's these little moments where I'm lashing out emotionally because he's coming at me just hardcore. I still have some work to do here, and especially when it comes to that, because I've done it with Matt Powell, I've done it, clearly Vecco has a thing for me, and I can express that without being insulting or derogatory. So yes, I actually agree with that, and that's something that I'm really trying to work on, and that's something that I'm working on by going into these rooms, because I understand that it's going to happen. It's happened 1,000 times, and if I want to have better reactions, then they need to be controlled reactions. I do kind of rein myself back in, but it's going to get ugly, and again, as we move forward, Smokey Saint's here. Some slurs are going to start getting thrown around.
He has to resort to personal attacks.
You were never saved. That's what I would say.
That's my point. That's my actually. And Praise, I'm not even going to say that. My challenge.
I'll be right back. I'm going to let it play. I'll have it on to where I can hear it and all that. But I'm going to fill my soda glass. So,
is how do you know you actually were saved?
Yeah, or that,
because he doesn't even know what the gospel is right now.
I don't think I was saved.
Wait a minute, I'm not a Muslim. Okay, you don't have to be a Muslim.
I was ever saved.
At least
I don't think I was ever saved.
Rage. Do you know who David Wood and Sam Shimon is?
I know who David Wood and Sam Shimon is, but I don't think I
Okay,
was ever
let me ask
saved.
you a question. Let me
I
ask you a
don't think I
question.
was
Are they
ever
You
Muslims?
are
I
extrinsic
don't
Are they
think
are they
I was
are they
ever
Muslims?
saved.
No,
Are they
I,
Muslims? Is David
he's
Wood a
saying
Well,
he
Muslim?
doesn't believe he was
David
saved.
Wood
I
spends
believe him.
99%
Is
of his
David
fucking
Wood
time talking
but he
shit
already
about
says
Muslims.
he
What are you
thinks he
talking
wasn't
about?
saved.
Is David
Veckel,
Wood
you
a
need to
Muslim?
let
Yes
him.
or no?
Veckel, you need to let him actually respond for God's
Beckel,
sakes. I
you're
mean,
an idiot.
at least let him. At least let him.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
At
No,
least
you're
let him
right. You're right.
respond.
You go
He
ahead.
said he was an extrinsic Christian. He wasn't saved. He just admitted that. So go ahead, Rage.
Like I don't believe in God. I was never saved because I don't think you can be saved.
No, when you
That's not
professed
answering my
or
question, but
whatever, yeah, that's not
You
what
are
I'm
a
talking
Christian.
about, Rage.
Well, no, we're
Rage,
beyond that
Rage.
because he's attacking me as an atheist now. See, I came in here and I was trying to actually, provide an internal critique, talk to you guys like,
You can't do
like
that.
with some
You
respect.
can't provide an internal
But you can't
critique.
do it, though.
You know what it
You
is,
guys
dude.
hate
can't
me
afford it.
so much that you just
Oh, here go
can't
the emotions. Oh,
take
you
it.
sound just like a Democrat. Gee whiz.
The point I think
Darth
Veckel is
I'm not.
making is
I'm actually not a Democrat.
You sound like a leftist then.
I'm a
You sound like a
Darth
hardcore
Vader.
leftist.
he's a left. He voted for Biden.
Okay,
Oh,
let me
gosh.
let
I'm
me
a
let me just
socialist.
He voted for
hold on.
Biden, right? The socialists
let
who
me
voted for Biden. Yeah,
let me tell.
I
Let me
didn't
tell
vote for Trump. No.
you voted for Biden. Okay,
So,
thank you.
Okay, so
You
Rage,
guys want to lick
Thank you,
my
Rage.
We don't
ass.
Thank
hate you, Rage. We
You
don't
want to
hate you,
lick
Rage. You
my
just don't like
asshole,
being
don't
challenged.
You helped to destroy the country.
I will
Thank you.
douche my asshole for you, Becky.
Yeah. You need to.
Oh gosh. Well,
He
I'm
puts
already
his
married.
finger up
So.
his asshole. We know that.
Well, I'm already married.
I got to
so
be better. I can't.
What?
I can't do that.
I don't know what.
To me, and and I feel it every time I do it. Even when I do it with Matt Powell, usually I will preface those things with like I really shouldn't do this, something like that. And I just got to stop doing that because it's not an insult. Even though Veckel finds it to be insulting, and that's the reason that I do it. It's not an insult, and I think it's fucking bigoted when I do that shit. So I got to stop doing that. I've got to be better.
What Rage was trying to offer me, but
So-
I was telling him that I'm married. So. All I'm saying is this, man. Listen, you got David Wood, you got Sam Shimon, right? And when I mention these guys, everybody in this room knows who they are. They know that these are Christian apologists who know a lot about
I
Islam.
did get it.
In fact,
like I have.
they're able
I
to
have
get
made
into
videos on
hardcore.
David Wood. You fucking idiot.
They're
you
able
are
to get.
so stupid.
They are able to get into deep debates against Muslims, against the beliefs. You know why? Because they studied it. You have not studied anything about Christianity, but yet you talk about it all the time on your channel. This is exactly why you are not able to reiterate.
Do you even watch my Bible?
This is why you're not able to reiterate to anyone what the gospel actually is. All you're able to do is try to
You
ridicule
are
me
just-
as if that's supposed to offend me in some
You
way.
can
It's not.
talk
It's
all
work-
you
it's not
want, but
working.
it's completely from ignorance, dude. If
Okay.
you want to know me, I have a channel with over.
I don't care to know
1,000
you
videos. Go
to be
watch
honest
that
with
shit.
you. I'm just pointing
Rage.
out the flaw
Okay, hold
Rage,
in
on.
your
you-
problem.
All right.
See, that's his problem. Like he has all these assumptions about me. We've only talked a couple times, dude. They were pretty heated political arguments, and kind of funny. I'm gonna ask him a couple times if he still thinks, like Donald Trump's gonna be president, or still president. Because we went there a few times, but you're coming at me in a way that is just insulting as fuck. And you pretend like you know me, but then you say you don't know anything about me. I'm an atheist. What do you expect? I don't believe in your God. I think I spend too much time on drama and not enough time on God sometimes. Not enough time talking about Christianity and like some of the like real harms it does. I'm trying to get away from that. And if you want to see my positions, they're there. And I'm here just giving you my position as an atheist. And why should I take you seriously or have a serious conversation? And I guess we're going to try on the 20th. if you're coming at me in this way, just blatantly, just boom, boom, not stop. Like even Smokey saying, like, dude, you gotta let him talk. But Smokey gonna get involved here soon.
Rage, do you have
let's
videos on your channel critiquing
This is
Christianity in the Bible?
beautiful, man. I can't wait for
Rage,
this.
do you
Go
do you
ahead,
have
make a video response. I don't
Rage,
care.
do
I'll
you
debate
have
you anytime on
Here
the
we are.
gospel.
Here we are.
Rage? I just have one question. Do you have
want me-
videos on your channel critiquing the Bible and Christianity, and therefore Christianity?
Nope, I make cat videos.
You don't have videos
Yeah,
on your
see,
channel.
there you go. There you go.
You don't
cat
have
videos.
response
Pretty
videos.
I
to
make cat
Genesis.
videos, yo. It's
Yeah.
all cats all the time.
Okay.
So let the
all
record
right.
stand
Yeah.
that Rage, this is a free country. You can say
Cool.
anything you want on your channel. I don't
I
want
have
you to get
another
canceled.
question.
I don't
really,
want you
really
canceled.
quickly, if I can just ask Rach another question. So you admit that you don't believe that you were ever saved. Can you tell us why you came to church? Was it a girlfriend you were trying to impress? Maybe she was a
No,
Christian.
trying to get enough
I
draws.
used to believe in the God bullshit, but now I do not think that I was ever saved. I don't.
Okay, all right.
I don't think you're saved. I
Right.
think you're a douche.
All right.
You know.
So at the time you were a douche, and now you're just
Yeah,
a douche.
I was.
And now he's a bigger douche.
openly,
Okay.
I
He was a
openly
douche.
admitted that I was a
Well, okay.
douchebag
All
back when I
right.
was a Christian.
All
I was a
I got
racist.
you.
You are probably one of the most
I used to be a douche
handsome
too.
douches
Then I
out there
got
now.
saved.
Oh, no, you're still a douche.
At least he's
douchey
honest.
I mean, we're gonna watch most of this dogpile today, so I'm gonna be here a while. We're gonna watch most of. Because it's just a constant dogpile. It's gonna go on and go on, and one of our beloved friends, Gur Streams, is gonna come and involve himself a little bit. Probably shouldn't have done that, but we'll see. The dogpile is gonna continue for a while, and really, the only person that's gonna bring some fucking sanity to this mess is Danny. Now, I regret the way I treated John Peterson. I was a dick to John there at the end. I still think like there could have been some way like I could have bridged that gap between Danny and John and made everything work. But the thing I don't regret is the fact that I like Danny. He's a really smart kid. I know he rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but Danny's going to come in and bring some sanity to this shit eventually. And it's going to be a really long conversation with Smokey Saint. And I thought it was a great conversation. It was so great it kept me up to like 3:30 in the morning. And as soon as I left, Smokey will concede to Danny. So, like I said, going to be a two-parter, but I'm going to show most of this fucking dogpile right here in part 1. So we're going to get through it.
He's honest.
You're
Some people will say
So-
that they actually did
It's
believe.
essentia and then
Oh,
it's fiducia.
all right, all right, guys,
Like,
hold
do
on,
we
hold on.
remember 15 minutes ago when you
Okay,
guys
well.
were complimenting me?
Here's something.
He's like, can we go back to that, please?
Hold on. Let's
You're in
let's
line,
do
Jimmy.
let's do something beneficial for Rage. Let's give him what the gospel actually is.
Yeah, since he doesn't
So,
know it. Yeah.
Because
right.
well, okay, well, whatever. Let's because if Rage truly doesn't know, then he should have the gospel shared with him, so he does know.
That's true.
So
I mean, ghetto
But-
gospel is the best gospel. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but Smokey,
have
do you
y'all
understand-
even
but
heard?
Smokey-
Have
you
Rage.
even
But
heard?
Smokey, do you
I
understand
don't
my
know what
point
that
though?
is.
My point of bringing this up though. I mean, it's fine. It's his channel. He can do whatever he wants. I don't want him canceled. I don't want him censored at all. I want him to continue to spew his nonsense. I just want him to be held accountable for what he does on his channel.
Beckel never
He's
stops
talking sugar smack about Christians and Christianity almost every day. I'm not subscribed to your channel. But you do, but I do know for a fact that that's what you do on your channel, and that's fine.
You
But the
don't
problem
like
is, though,
my channel. You're not
if you
subscribed,
go
but
in-
you do
but
know
here's-
for a fact.
but my problem is though, if you are going to talk about stuff like this, you're going to give a strong and accurate criticism about what it is that you're trying to
Beckel, are you still
criticize.
mad about
At
that
least
Skylar
be
Fiction
able to
conversation me and you
reiterate.
had- and
At
Skylar
least
had?
be able to reiterate what it is that you're criticizing. You can't do it.
Ray, do you
That's all I'm
have
saying.
do you have like a series of videos, 5 or 6 of them, entitled "Genesis is Stupid"? Do you have a series called Genesis
I
is
have
Stupid?
I have like 16 videos called "The Bible is." Yeah, I think it's up to 16 videos now. Stupid.
The Bible
Hey,
is
Beck,
But you don't know
stupid.
the gospel.
Hey, Beckel there.
Sinner's Prayer.
What? No, I
But you don't- but
literally
you don't
have
know the
read the
gospel.
gospel. I'm reading it now, you bitch.
But you don't know the gospel though.
All right,
You don't know the
tell-
gospel, though.
Somebody tell
Okay,
Rage
gotcha.
what the
And I am.
gospel is.
Hey,
It's the
Beckel there.
Sinner's Prayer.
I've done like one, maybe 2 videos on the New Testament, but that is where I jumped to. I was reading, the New Testament now, just doing it really, really slowly because I, delved into philosophy and shit, and that's going to take 20 years. So, Yeah, it's been slow, but I'm hoping to speed up that process with some live streams.
might
Literally
be
said, like
hearing
I asked
Is my
for
mic on?
clarification, and
This
then
Yeah,
there
we
on?
was
can hear you,
this.
Ken. Sorry.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna
wait a
turn this
minute,
on.
wait a minute,
Is
wait
my
a
mic
minute.
too loud?
I asked for clarification on what you meant by the gospel.
No,
because I
no.
said
You don't
the
get a free pass.
canonical gospels.
Someone tell him what the
No.
There's the
gospel is.
first 4 books of the fucking Bible. There's the New
You don't get a
Testament.
free
What do you mean by the fucking gospel? Because as far as I
We're gonna tell
understand,
you.
the gospels are
Smokey
the
was gonna-
gospels of
Smokey's gonna
Jesus
tell you the
Christ,
gospel.
which are the first 4 books of the Bible.
Smokey's going to tell you the gospel. All right. Because no one ever taught you the gospel.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I thought that was a good answer. I mean, I still think, like, as far as I look at it today, if you ask me what the Gospels are, it's the first 4 books of the Bible, the canonical Gospels, the books that talk about the Gospels. I haven't been a Christian. And is this like, all right? So we haven't even gotten to the answer yet. Like, Smokey was about to get it, and then Vecca went on another diatribe. But is that even the answer? That, you know, the good news is that, like, you must, if you're a Christian, that's the code. You know, like the passphrase, I guess. You know, into the club, you know, you got to have that code word, and it's, you know, what is the gospel? The code word is the good news. Like, it's news to me. You know, the good news is news to me.
Praise, do me a favor. Pull up your Bible app. And let's go.
Smokey's going to tell you the gospel.
Hey, brother Ken, we could hear you.
Sorry,
by the
guys.
way.
These power lions are just like killing my.
Oh my
Good grief!
Penny.
I'm driving down the road,
Be careful.
and this silly thing keeps on losing.
Are you
Connection.
talking on the phone while you're driving?
Well, I am hands free,
But you
He's
got
got an earbud in.
ADHD.
but I still can't
Hey,
talk and drive. I've got ADHD, and
I do kind of feel, you know, and I do kind of feel like we could have saved, like, the whole Smokey conversation that's going on now to, like, the very end, but that probably would have been part 2 of the stream. Because, I mean, it's not really relevant to what's happening right now.
Ken's living the thug life. Let me
Okay.
hear.
what I was going to say though is
why I
I've already
can feel
pointed out to
wrinkle
Knock
attention.
a while ago that his series on
But I mean, while you guys sit there and hammer Ken Hovind CPA for, you know, coming down on a dude that he doesn't know, and this, you know, streamer or whatever. I mean, Smokey Saint literally gonna come in this bitch calling me or I'm looking over here because my shit's over here, but the camera's here. Smokey Saint literally gonna come in here calling me a pedo lover and making a case for it, right? Gloves are off, my dude. Don't expect no respect.
the Bible is one of the most ignorant things I've ever heard, and I warned him to please stop so he doesn't embarrass himself.
I wanted him to keep going. 'Cause that was
No,
good
I'm
content.
gonna keep going.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Somebody.
All right.
Let's-
Somebody
let's-
teach him the
let's-
gospel, because no one's ever taught him.
Okay.
And
so
every pastor and
Fair
leader
enough,
has
fair
failed
enough, fair enough.
to preach the gospel to not. So.
go to First
I-
Corinthians.
I think pastors, and if you notice, you know, like my new thing, like I'm, because you know, the pills for the cigarettes didn't work. You know, nothing seems to work. So I'm trying this thing that somebody told me, and I'm only smoking a couple hits at a time. But I also poke holes in the filter, so I'm getting less and less and less. And I'm, you know, she said it'll wean me off of them, and I'm gonna try everything. I'm gonna do it until I quit. That is the main goal. Even though I do keep a window open, and really I'm like cold because I do keep my window open so I can try to blow it that way. And my daughter stays in there. I really hate secondhand smoke, and it's something that I really want to get out of my kid's life altogether. So not only that, I want to live as long as I can. So I gotta quit these bastards. So if you see me like lighting, take a couple hits, putting it out, that's like the new routine I got myself in, trying to overcome this damn addiction that I'm just been too weak to overcome.
Rage, hold
Don't
on.
fail
Rage,
at
just-
raping
Rage,
children.
hold on. We're gonna educate you. Hold on, Rage. Hold on, Rage.
Time to listen.
1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 4. And go
Take
ahead
notes.
and read that. 1 Corinthians 15, 1 through 4. Go ahead.
Now I
Take notes.
declare to you, brothers, the good news which I preached to you, which you also received, in which you also stand, by which you also are saved, if you hold firmly to the word I preached to you, unless you believed in vain. For I delivered to you first of all that which I also received, that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures,
Oh.
and he was buried,
Oh.
and that he was raised on the third day according to the Scriptures.
Whoa. Oh. Have you ever
Okay,
heard of that,
so-
Rage?
So here, Rage, the gospel stands for good news. And so that's the summarization. When we ask what the gospel is, we're asking if someone believed it.
Yeah, it's like password, like gotta have that password to the club, and you obviously ain't in the club, and it's like I've been screaming, "Hey, my name is the Raging Atheist." You all know I'm a fucking atheist. And it does become important because, one, why should I just show them respect? Two, clearly I didn't give you the answer you was looking for. I was asking clarifying questions. I was trying to, what do you even mean by this question? Clearly, maybe if I was still a Christian, I would have known what you meant, but I didn't. But for three, I don't think I'm really wrong here. And I think it's just nonstop, and it's now just full attack mode on whatever you can. You got that one atheist that's just there. I just showed up. I knew it was gonna happen. They knew it was gonna happen. They knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. So it's just gonna keep just piling on and piling on. And they just can't stand the existence of an atheist. They just can't stand the thought that this person doesn't believe the exact same way. Because to Smokey, that's the important part of Christianity, is that you believe the exact same way that he does. And they can't stand it. And then to have an atheist come in and kind of just, I don't know, back them up without even giving me any benefit of, I don't know. We'll see what Gurr was thinking.
We're looking for them to profess their statement of faith of whether or not they actually truly believed upon Christ, his work, his actions, and his identity. So
you're talking to me like I'd be a Christian still.
No, I'm telling you, no, this is when someone asks you what the gospel is. This is what you should know, because this is what they're
according to a Christian.
Oh
No,
my
Gordon.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
So when somebody asks me what the gospel is,
Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
I think something I can wipe my ass with. That's
It's
what
not,
I
Oh my
think.
it's
God.
not objective.
trying to
bro.
help you
What
out
a
here. I'm trying to help you
dumbass.
out.
Yeah, dude, you
Everybody
I
agrees with the
revoke
gospel.
my compliment from you, Rage. I revoke
praise Rig.
Well, I mean, it's
play-
been
play
50
the
minutes
short
of
bus,
vitriol, and you don't expect
play the short
Rage
bus
to
video.
show up, Praise? I mean, what the fuck
Retard
do you
bus.
think is gonna happen? I came in here playing nice with you bitches.
I love it.
Retard bus.
Retard bus. Retard bus. Retard bus. Retard bus. Retard bus. Retard bus. Kind of catchy. Retard bus.
I never want to have to suffer this again, Praise.
Rage,
Ever.
Rage, I haven't even been going in on you. I've been trying to help you out. I've been trying to actually show you so that when a Christian comes up and asks you what the gospel is, they're gonna expect.
I would definitely say. So, do you guys get that? Do you understand? If a Christian ever comes up and says, "What is the gospel?" The good news, my friends, it's the good news. Better know that goddamn answer. Hey, next time a Christian comes up to me, Smokey, and says, "What is the gospel?" I'll be like, "It's that great news, bro."
Right.
Oh gosh.
Well,
That's better than what you did
That's a
tonight.
little bit more accurate. So I'll give you that. But
It's a little
That's
bit
literally
more
what they
accurate,
just
I
said.
mean, that's better, but
But my point is this though. You got guys like, for example, in this community, Floyd FP. I can't stand the guy, but I highly respect
Yeah,
him.
Floyd,
You know
Floyd's
why?
good people.
Floyd studies
Floyd's good people.
Christianity, even though a lot of his interpretations are wrong.
Been on the channel a couple times. Really smart dude. Really knows his philosophy. I'm jealous. There's I could probably read philosophy and look at philosophy and study philosophy for the rest of my life, and I'll never understand it like that man does.
But he studies not only the scriptures, but he also
I don't
studies.
study Christianity.
But he also listen. He not only studies the scriptures, he reads the scriptures, but he also studies church history as well.
Oh,
He
I don't study
understands-
church history.
Wait, listen,
ever.
hold on a second. Let me finish.
I
right?
never.
What I'm saying to you is that
Ever.
this man, if he were to do videos like what you do on a regular basis, at least he would be a more formidable opponent because you would have asked Floyd what the gospel is.
I'm
He would
ignoring
be able
you.
to tell you right
Gur,
off the bat what the gospel is. You,
Gur,
however,
you want me to give
okay,
respect to these
you do
fuckers.
you get on your channel, say Jill this, praise that, Smokey this, the gospel that, and
I
yet
don't
you don't
talk
even know
about
anything
Jill.
about
I talk
any of the
about
Christian
Veckel
tenets.
never
You
shuts
don't know
up.
anything about the Christian
Ever.
tenets. So I'm just saying you can do whatever you want on your channel. It's
Jill's
fine.
a low
Continue to do so.
Jill's
I'm just
nothing.
exposing you for the
Praise
idiocy
has a low
of you
clout.
not being able to defend your own position against Christianity. That's all I'm saying.
I'm so exposed. My position against Christianity is it's stupid.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
Stupid is as stupid.
Pretty much
does.
Yeah, your
always
position
been my
is stupid.
position.
Yeah. Your
I-
position is stupid.
If
yeah.
you want vitriol, I can give you vitriol.
Well, that's what Psalm
I
4.
will
That's what
have
Psalm
to give you
53
credit.
says. The
I
fool
will
has
have
said
to
in
give
his
you
heart
credit,
there is no
Sage.
God. So
You
I'm
did
not saying that.
You did come in and turn it into a complete dump.
Moron.
I didn't do anything, man. I have just been sitting here and Veckel turned it into a fucking dumpster fire. I didn't do shit.
What? I'm holding you accountable to your position.
You're
That's
holding
all.
me accountable. So continue.
You're on
Veckel.
your channel criticizing
Do
Christianity.
your
So
wet
I'm going to
dream
hold
on
you
the
to it.
atheist.
Can you
Yeah,
defend your
I-
atheist position? Yes or no?
Yeah,
We
because
we've
it's
established it.
so dumb.
Yes, atheism is dumb. I know.
No, your position is dumb.
How do you know?
So Rage. hold
Oh,
on.
I don't
Hold on.
pretend to.
Hold on.
I mean, so really, in order for me to defend my atheism, right, you would need to provide some evidence of your God belief, and then I could defend why I don't find that evidence. So I mean, you're asking to have for me to defend myself and what I believe in. You're not defending yourself or what you believe in. You're not giving me any reason why you believe the nonsense you believe. You're just being a dick. And Gur's honestly thinking well, why isn't Rage sitting there, just giving respect to these assholes, giving them exactly what they want and responding exactly like they want or any of that. It's really, Gur, goddamn, grow up here.
Rage, hold on.
Well, I didn't ask if you pretend to. I asked you, how do you know?
Hold on. Rage, this is why it's important. Because if you say I was a Christian, I believed on God and the gospel, then you
That
have
means
to
something.
know. You have to know. Well, guys, just let me finish, please. Just let me explain this to him. You have to know what you actually believe. You have to know the gospel that you believed upon in order to have claimed to be a Christian. If you don't know the gospel or don't know what you believed on, you probably didn't
Dude,
actually believe on the gospel.
I
That was all.
have read the fucking Bible 10 times now. Dude,
Why don't I believe you?
Oh my
Find it
God.
hard to
Why don't I
Jill,
believe you?
But Rage,
Can I
that doesn't matter.
finish
Hold
a
on.
single just the complete condescension? Well, if you're going to no, dude, I read the Bible. I understand what's in the Bible. I understand what's in the gospel. I understand, you were looking for a code word and you didn't clarify. And I asked several times for people in the room to clarify, and they just never did. They just chose not to. All they chose to do was pile on. All they chose to do was insult. All they chose to do was dismiss me as a human being. Why would I mean, I'm sitting there taking it. But why am I going to respect a single person in this room? Especially Veckel, who just never shuts the fuck up. Statement and this, I mean, you guys are piling on me here. I'm taking it like a trooper, right?
Rage, I'm trying to help you out. I'm just trying. Just
Can
let me
I finish
and I'll let you
anything?
respond.
Trying to help me out.
But
Reading the
I
Bible
wasn't
doesn't
done.
mean anything.
I wasn't done. Just I promise you'll get the chance.
This
to
is
respond.
probably
Just
what
let me
pisses
finish.
Smokey off, because I don't want your help or need it. I'm going to be an atheist. If you want to talk to a different atheist, go and talk to a different atheist, seriously. But if you're going to attack me, I'm going to attack back. If you're going to be insulting to me, I'm going to be insulting back. It's kind of what I do. And I'm keeping it really chill, I think, compared to how I used to go about things. This is the great practice. This is what I'm really trying to work on, is these moments. And I would like to be a little better, give some better answers, but at the same time, at this point, I should show no respect to any of these people because they haven't shown me any. There shouldn't be a double standard, Gerstreams. There just really shouldn't be, in my opinion. What? So let you? Okay, I guess. Go ahead.
I
There you
got
are,
I
Gert.
got cut off. Dude, seriously, you get the chance to respond. I'm trying, dude. I'm trying to help
I
you
know.
out
I'm
here. I'm
just.
not even trying to
Oh,
go
I
at
know,
you
Gert,
like
trying
at
to
all.
help
I'm
me
really
out
not.
so fucking much.
Well, dude, like, bro, it's embarrassing if you sit there and you're like,
I'm not embarrassed. I'm laughing and shit. This is
That's
funny
a
to me.
all right, well,
problem.
fine. Okay, well, maybe.
I mean, I will grant, like they haven't gotten completely disrespectful yet because that's coming. It's the whole case why Rage is a pedo lover. It's insane. Like, what the fuck was Smokey even thinking? Shouldn't have done it, especially Smokey.
You're shameless, whatever. But the point is that if you don't even know what the gospel is, and you can't claim you believed on the gospel at one point, that's the whole point of all of this. Is to see if you claim to be a
No, I
Christian.
clearly my thing is like sometimes I just think that you try too nicely or too hard to be nice to these fuckers. And you can do that. You can pick and choose your spots, but if they're not granting any ground, if they're not going to grant any kind of respect or any kind of dignity or, I don't know, human empathy to try to even understand the other side or have respect for the other side of, what you're talking on the issue, then why should we always be held to that higher standard? I shouldn't have to. I should be able to just be like, dude, this is stupid. Please explain to me why it's not. But you can't even get a word in edgewise. There's no way I could, even if I were to try to take the time to give a laid out, like in-depth response, Veckel ain't gonna let me talk at this point. None of them are. So you get your little quirps in. They bring it upon themselves, especially the way Veckel's just over talking. You're only gonna get about maybe a line or two in, so you better, pull some punches. He believed on it at one point.
But you don't know what it is, so you can't have believed on it. That's the whole point they're trying to make. If you don't know what it is,
you didn't know the password, so you can't ever have been a Christian. That's essentially what they're saying. They're trying to dismiss that I used to be a Christian, and I didn't give the password. Yeah, like, I'm not saying that there's no atheist in North Carolina, but I was raised in North Carolina. in not like a city atmosphere, not like a Winston-Salem or a Charlotte or a Raleigh. But I mean, I was raised in Tobaccoville, North Carolina. You don't think I was a Christian?
then you can't possibly.
So you wanted me to
That's-
give you a
that's my point.
catchphrase about how the gospel is good news. Like I would have said that a different time.
my
Like
gosh.
seriously, my fucking God. Like I asked a clarifying question, Smokey, and Veckel just went on a diatribe, and now every single, I find it interesting, right? Because I came in here, I was being chill,
Yeah, that's true.
and now just because Veckel went on his diatribe, and then that whatever it is called Jill spoke up. Now every single Christian here is just wholeheartedly against me. I have been an atheist for 25 years. I have not believed in
come on,
Jesus
man.
Christ in 25 years. Guess what? 25 is a bit much, I think. When I read the Bible in the last 25 years, I read it as an atheist. I do not read it as a Christian.
He
I do
only
not
reached
believe.
Genesis.
I do not have your worldview. I do not agree with your worldview. I think your worldview is fucking
Rage.
stupid.
Rage. That's
But now thinking about it though, like 19, yeah, maybe that was the age when I at least got away from Christianity. I'd spent a couple years like chasing Buddhism and Native American spirituality and shit like that.
He only
the
reached
point.
Genesis.
That's
Don't
not
know the worldview.
that's not the point that I raised though. I'm not asking you what you think about Christianity. We obviously already know that. My challenge to you is if you claim that you knew that you
Candace?
believed in the gospel, and we ask you what the gospel is, and you can't reiterate it, even this in its simplicity, then how?
Well, you didn't even ask for the simple answer. You just you wouldn't listen to my clarifying. Like it went for like 30 minutes where you could have just been like, dude, duh, the good news, like passcode, bitch.
How do you know that you actually understood the gospel, if you were even saved for that
I
matter?
don't care if I understood the gospel.
Okay, fine. Or now
I
that
don't think
raises my.
How
okay,
do
now-
you
now-
know if you
now,
understand
Rage,
the
now, Rage,
gospel? I'll
that
actually
brings
grant that midnight because I'm like guilty of that because I'm usually often skeptical of Christians that say they used to be atheists. They never really convey like how an atheist thinks, but then again, like how does an atheist think, right? So Yeah, I agree with your point there because I think that I'm guilty of that myself.
Other
How
point.
do
Now,
you
Rage.
know?
Rage, that raises my other point. And
How do
again,
you
I'm
know?
saying on your channel, you're free to do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. It's your channel. I do not want you canceled. I don't want you censored. Okay, I believe in the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. All right, but what I'm saying to you is, if you want to be
My phone keeps going off. I'm gonna go grab it and I'll be right back.
considered
I don't care. Like,
serious
how do you know,
in this
how do you
community,
know what the gospel
if you want
is?
to be considered a serious conduit of truth in this community, you have to be able and educated to reiterate what it is that your opponents believe.
Do you think that
if
you're
you
a
don't, you're
serious
going to continue to be
conjugal
a
of truth,
ridicule,
Beckel?
and you're
Do
going to continue to be
do you
laughed
still
at,
think the
as you have
election
been
was
for the past few
stolen?
years.
Here's what I would. Here's what I
Do
would
you still think the
suggest.
election was stolen, Beckel?
Oh
Of
my
course,
gosh.
there's evidence of that now.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Here's what I would suggest: that the atheist is in
Conjugal
denial.
of truth? Really?
I didn't say
And
conjugal of truth. What the hell is the matter with you,
I
bro?
don't-
Did you hear me say that?
Yeah,
I
you
would
said
say that
conjugal
the
of truth.
No, no, I said
that's what you
conduit.
meant,
Yeah,
but
you
just
did.
said
Conduit, 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 conduit,
Okay,
conduit.
gotcha.
You might
It's
have
one of
meant
those-
I did not say
conduit. You said
conjugal.
conjugal.
You
No,
No, I
literally
did
said
not.
conjugal.
No
I'm not-
I said conduit. If I
Beckel,
said
it's one of-
conjugal, I meant to say
No,
conduit.
Beckel, I literally heard conjugal. I'm not mocking you. I legit
Conduit,
Who cares?
conduit,
Who
conduit.
You
Okay,
can
that's
do
clear,
it.
that's cool,
You
cool.
can do it, Feckle.
You can do it. I meant if I said conjugal, which I'm pretty sure I didn't say, I meant to say conduit.
Okay, cool.
Dude, I'm a conduit of fucking not believing in this shit, dude.
Yeah, we know that. That's obvious.
But at least represent us correctly. I mean,
Exactly.
Come on,
He
Rage.
can't.
Well,
Exactly.
Good thing I checked that. I usually in those moments I'd just like ramble on for about 5 minutes, and then Martha would have to fucking or Marty would have to fucking call me on Facebook. Martha, why'd I call you Martha, Marty? Yeah, that's funny. But that didn't happen because I'm like, check it this time, make sure it's on. So forgot my point, but yeah, good job, me. Hey, I was.
That's my point.
Nice.
think I-
Represent
getting-
your
I-
opponent's
honestly,
position
I honestly think
accurately.
I was
And-
until
and-
Beckel
and
went on his
Beckel, I would
diatribe
have-
there.
Veckel, I would have to say that F.P. Floyd, I've had him on my channel. He does not represent Christianity. He misrepresents Christianity in the same way, only through some sort of scholarship, even though it's 19th century liberal scholarship.
F.P. Floyd is
It's
brilliant.
scholarship nevertheless, which is more than what you'll get from a raging atheist. But he's still misrepresenting Christianity.
Exactly.
He's still
I
strong
had a couple of debates with Floyd, and I clearly demonstrate how dishonest he is with his exegesis and his hermeneutics and with scripture. He's
Oh my
extremely
god! Like
dishonest.
you really think
But
atheists
here's the
should think
problem,
like
though.
you?
Here's the difference between him and
You're an
Range.
idiot.
Well,
Floyd,
all he did was study 19th century liberal
here's the
scholarship.
difference between.
I mean, is there even really a way to like represent Christianity accurately? So what? The only I think that you can try to do is represent each subset, each group, each denomination, each cult as accurately as you can understand it as an outsider looking in now, right? So the fact that these Christians are somehow demanding that I, as the atheist that I am today, and maybe some atheists can do that, but just come in and automatically they answer their questions exactly the way they want me to. I mean, it's fundamentally just a stupid thing to even expect, right? I mean, the audacity. Imagine if we as atheists expected Christians to come in and think the way that we do, and give us that respect. Like if I ask you, is there a God? You're supposed to say, fuck no, of course not. That's the passphrase. But if you don't say it that way, then, if you claim to be a former atheist, how could I possibly expect you to have been a former atheist? To Midnight's point just a bit ago. Yeah, I mean, it's very narcissistic thinking, I believe.
Between him and Range, though, Floyd actually at least knows what he's talking about with regards to the position that he's attacking. You don't, Rage. You don't.
No, I clearly don't.
And you getting upset because you're being
Yeah,
confronted on it.
it triggers you so much that I
just
used
want
to be
people
a
to tell the
Christian
truth and to
way
be
back in the
confident at
day.
it. That's all.
So you literally think I'm lying about being a Christian back
You're,
in the day?
no, you're either lying
Yes.
or you're just extremely ignorant of what the
So I
gospel is.
I was
and you-
born an atheist in America, really? Like, there's not many of those, right?
a lot of your people believe that. Yeah.
What?
Like, do you
A-
even
a-
live
a
in
lot of your
America?
people
No,
believe
he's
that you
saying
were born
no. He's
atheist.
saying you
I
were
don't
never
believe it.
born again. That's what he's saying.
No. I'm not saying that he was never born again.
I
I'm
am.
saying that I'm asking him, how does he know this since he doesn't even know what the gospel is?
He was
How do
never
you know
saved.
that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Saved. People go to church.
You know, how does he know this? You know, like, how do you know God exists? You know, atheism it simply means a lack of belief. It's not making any kind of like truth claim. You know, like theists or Christians, they do that when they claim, you know, that there is a God, that a God does exist. I don't make a claim. I simply lack belief in the theistic claims that these Christians make. I don't believe it. I don't believe in heaven. I don't believe in hell. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in the Greek pantheon. I don't believe in the Celtic pantheon. I don't believe in any God. I don't believe in Wakantanka anymore. I don't practice Buddhism anymore. Even the atheistic form of Buddhism. I simply have a lack of belief in all of that. That's what just makes me an atheist. And I think probably most of us really struggle with the term atheist because the connotations are, you know, unfairly just very negative. But in order to change that, you have to embrace that term. And I'm here and I exist. You know, I don't believe in unicorns. I don't have to prove that unicorns don't exist. I probably can't prove that they don't exist. It's probably like not possible to prove that unicorns don't exist. I can simply have that belief based upon the reality of the world I live in. Because there's no unicorns present in the reality of the world I live in. I can have that belief. And that's all being an atheist is. I don't have to prove anything to you.
And are not saved. People are there for other reasons.
Yeah.
They're
There,
there
fellowship,
for
friendship.
Yeah, I was there because
crunch.
my dad and my stepmom made me go.
Exactly.
Probably.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Thank you.
There you
Thank
go. That just shows
Thank
it
you.
right there.
Just
Thank
like
you.
you guys were when you were like 13.
Yeah, but now we're older men. We into the meat. We're not
Yeah,
in the milk
and
anymore.
you're still
No,
subject to that
I
slavery.
won't.
I'm not.
No.
Don't
We're not
fucking
in the
judge
meat.
me for
We're not
that
in the
shit.
milk anymore, Rage. We're in
Why
the meat
are you
now.
judging me for
That's why
being
everybody in this
subject
room
to
is
that?
able to reiterate what the gospel is.
I don't give a fuck about your gospel. I
I
come in and
know.
talk to y'all.
I know.
Your
was
gospel is
supposed-
stupid.
I know that's what you
I
believe.
made a
I know.
whole series about it.
I know.
was
I know.
supposed
But you don't even know what the
to-
gospel is.
He did a whole
I
series about what he doesn't even know. He
Cross
doesn't-
is
Exactly.
foolish. Cross is
Exactly.
foolish to those who are-
I think I would
How
still
you going to
be.
criticize something you don't even know about? You're not even educated on.
I think I would
Beckle, I
still
have to
know.
let you
I
know.
think I would still know 25 years
So-
later what the gospel was if you
Yeah.
grew up in church.
Beckel, you're so yeah. I mean, maybe if they'd clarified a little bit all those times that I asked him, I would have probably came out with the answer. Because as soon as you said the good news, like, oh, ding, 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 ring a bell much, like it's just you never really did that. I asked several times to clarify, like, what do you mean? The canonical gospels? Are you talking about all of Scripture? Are you talking about all of the New Testament? I asked several, like, what are you like? Because it's just like an out of the moment question, like out of left field. Smokey comes in with a question, what's the gospel? Fuck, I answered wrongly, I guess. Again, I haven't really seen it in the side chat. Like, is that the passcode? The good news, like, and if it is the passcode, atheists out there, you better say that passcode because they're going to instantly reject any idea that you were ever a fucking Christian at all.
But Joe, that's
What
not
is
an
saying,
excuse either, though.
Beckel, what is
Joe,
your credentials here?
were you
So where
But
do you
Joe-
pastor, Beckel? Where do you pastor?
Joe, even if you haven't read the
Veckel,
Bible in
where do you
25 years,
pastor, Veckel?
which
would
is,
know
you know,
that,
okay,
yeah.
that's fine. That's between you and God. The fact of the matter is, you're on YouTube
What
every single day
what seminary
criticizing
did you go to,
Christianity,
Veckel? Like how
and
many?
he
How much?
doesn't even know about the tenets
Veckel,
of what
like
we
I'm
believe.
asking questions here.
What-
Like how
He
many?
doesn't know any of the Christian tenets at all.
Did you go to school for this, Veckel?
You don't have to go to school.
Oh, so you don't have
Well,
to go to
so
school.
when you so when
your
you
authority is what? You've been told a thing your
I
entire
have. Let me
life?
tell you something, Rage. Hey, Rage, let me tell you something. First of all, I don't know a lot of things, right? But one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to copy your position and talk about things that I don't know about. Okay?
Exactly.
Why do you think that I
You
held
do
silent?
all the time. What are you
Rage,
talking about?
Rage,
You
Rage. Why
still
do you
think
think
the
I was
election was stolen?
Rage? Why do you think I was silent when they were?
I don't talk about things I don't know anything about. Like, dude, like we literally had a conversation about how you thought Donald Trump was still president, the election was stolen, Donald Trump was still going to be like it was insane. And in that conversation, you never let me talk either.
We're talking about eschatology. You know why? Because there's thousands of different positions on
my
it,
God.
and I'm on the fence with one of them. Okay. So I'm going to stay silent on about a
Veckel,
topic that I don't know about. You,
want-
however, need to follow suit and do
Veckel,
that because
do
you
you
don't
want-
do that.
Do you
You
want
talk
nudes or
about
not?
things that you don't know about. Do you know about the passage in Proverbs?
Your Lord,
I'll send you
your,
nudes.
your Lord and Savior Dragna told you to stop talking about theology years ago. You didn't listen to him.
He doesn't. He don't
But
know anything.
wait, let me ask you. When you were a kid and you were
My
in
Lord
church,
and Savior
attending church,
Dragnot.
yeah, he told you to stop talking about theology because you were just making yourself to look like the fool that you are.
When did Dragnot tell me to stop talking
Not you,
theology?
not you directly, but he told your entire community. He's your Lord and Dragnot. But how serious were you about learning about the Word of God and what it says and what it teaches? Did you take any classes or Bible study? Did you go to Bible study at all, or were you just a Sunday, maybe once a Christian Sunday worshiper?
Jill, I was raised Southern Baptist in Davie County, North Carolina.
Okay,
right. Like
you're 13 now.
You're talking the epitome of the Bible Belt. You're talking the deep South.
Okay.
Oh my God! Like, of course I went to Bible studies, dude. You know, I often talked about, like, you know, when I hurt my ankle and I was praying and, oh my God, God, make me the man my dad wants me to be, make me the Christian, you know, like, I was really struggling. You know, I wasn't quite the Christian. I've always kind of admitted that. Like, yeah, I grew up in this really fundamental upbringing, but I was always kind of like the black sheep. But yeah, of course, I participated and was pretty much forced to. There was like really no other choice. Like atheism was definitely not an option back then. But it's just funny because like they automatically assume that just doesn't happen. Because I no longer read the Bible like they read it. Right? You know, I no longer read the Bible, you know, having to exegesis it, having to go through and try to justify, like, you know, somehow, you know, Jesus Christ was in the Old Testament as well. You know, all the little things that they do. I can just simply read it line by line, chapter by chapter, book by book, just like I do with every other one. Every other book that I read. If it's a book of fiction, I pretty much see it as the same. It's been that long that I've been an atheist, that I have really escaped the thinking of a Christian, because I don't read the Bible like Christians do anymore. I think that the way they read the Bible is really ridiculous, and it just kind of it kind of shows like this yearning to justify themselves the nonsense they believe, because deep down inside of themselves they understand it to be nonsense. It's what I think. Don't have really much evidence to say I can prove why I think that way to be a true belief, but it's what I think.
Right.
Like
I don't care about.
I was OSAS. I was a Southern Baptist to a core.
But hold on. When you were a young child,
See, like earlier during the whole compliment session, if you guys were around back then, like they were literally complimenting me for my take on OSAS, and now they're, you don't even know what it means? Like, oh my God, you can get no credit at all. Even when they gave you credit, They're not going to give you credit, even though they just did it an hour and a half ago or an hour ago. Anything
Not answering
at
the
all.
question. How excited were you about learning what the Bible teaches? Did you attend classes? Did
I
you
don't know,
attend
dude.
Bible
I was
studies?
probably more excited about masturbating.
Okay. So it was never really there.
You
The
you are
desire
asking.
to learn
You're like, do
about
I
God.
ask you questions about what you did in your childhood, Jill?
Yeah. So the desire was never
No, I
there.
don't, because I don't want to fucking know.
So that's the reason why you would even say today that you were never saved, because you realized that you never
I say
really
I was
had
never
that.
saved because I don't believe in being saved.
Okay.
I don't think
So
that
That's
God
not
is
my point, though.
real.
so
That's not
even
my
you
Like, still, like, it's what, 30 minutes since I thought that point was settled. Like, I thought I was fairly clear with that point. So, of course, when I was a teenager, when I was a Christian, I thought I was a Christian. I thought I believed in God. Now I'm an atheist. I don't think I was saved back then from anything. I think I believed a lie. I don't think that you're saved. I don't think that Praise is saved. I definitely don't think Smokey Sane is saved. I don't think anybody's saved because I don't think that there's a God to save us. I think we pretty much need to start figuring out that we are the ones that's going to have to save ourselves here on this planet.
realized that you really did
I
not
thought
have.
that I was
You were not
saved when I
motivated.
was a
You didn't.
Christian.
You were never motivated to learn about God. You never.
How do you
never
know
wanted to
that?
seek
How do you
after
know
him.
that, Joe?
Because you're
How do you
telling
know
me.
that?
Okay, let me ask
Because
you
I'm
again.
telling you
Let
as
me
a
ask you again,
44-year-old
that's one of the
atheist
ways.
that has been.
That's one of the
So
ways.
you knew me. You knew me when I lived in
Idiot,
North
you
Carolina.
just told me.
You knew me. You
told me
knew
you never
everything
sought
about me.
out
You little
any
fucking
study.
cunt. You know, you little fucking cunt. And that's never a word that I really apologize for because I use it in the universal way. You know, I don't use that word in the bigoted ass American sexist way. I like to use it as the European would use it. And a cunt means a cunt. And Jill is a cunt. So I never apologize for that word. There are other words that I'm trying to get back out of my alphabet. You know, they played this song earlier, right? Alphabet, my vocabulary. That's what I meant to say. I talk too fast. So, like, Jill is one of the most condescending fucks. And again, like, all elements of respect are out the window, even so much now that even the compliments that they were giving me before for what, you know, my take on OSAS was, they can't even do that any longer. That's been just wiped off the slate's been wiped clean when it comes to that. I can't even understand that. And yet I still find some way to keep it under control. And that never happens with me. Recently, this is what I've been really working on. So while I've had some slip-ups here and there, I've had a couple emotional reactions here and there, ultimately why I decided, because my answers aren't perfect, of course, you know, there's always room for improvement, and now I definitely know the password. So next time, definitely, you know, the good plan, bro, the good plan. But I am keeping my chill. And even there's going to be a moment, like, it's going to get really hard for me to do so. And I even tell myself, got to keep my chill. So, and again, I do remind you that slurs are coming. We're well into this now. That hasn't happened yet, but I want to keep kind of reminding that there are going to be some slurs being used. Smokey's in the room. And Smokey's going to make a case that I'm a pedo lover. So we're going to get to all of that. And then part 2 will be the conversation Danny and Smokey had. I was still there, but I definitely want to show that as well. It's not going to be tonight. It's not going to be tonight. Right?
You just told
me.
You just told me you never sought to learn.
You know
about
everything about me, you little fucking bitch.
No, I know.
I literally did not just tell him that. I literally did not just tell him that I never sought to learn. It's just the assumptions that Joe makes. And oh my God, it's so infuriating to not go at Joe. You know me better than me, right, Joe?
I know what you just told
me. Right,
dummy.
because I could not possibly ever have actually believed in your stupid ass fucking God ever.
I know what you just told
Ever.
me.
I
So
could
let,
not
me,
have possibly done it because
Losing
then
my
I would
chill.
have been like you little
so
bitch.
let me ask you again, so you can
Gotta
look
rein
like
it
the
in.
idiot that you are and
I
repeat
already,
yourself.
I mean,
It is
So
of
let
course,
me
chill.
ask you
y'all
again.
already do.
So let me ask you again. When you were attending this church, did you seek out any instruction?
I was
Or
probably trying to fuck the bitches.
okay, exactly. So you were never serious
That's
about
probably all I was
the
doing.
Bible.
And you know, that's somewhat true. Of course, I was a real Christian, but like, you know, it was like a good hookup source. You know, had a lot of good Christian girlfriends back in the day. So like
Okay.
I just wanted
So
to
thank you.
fuck. I just wanted to
So don't
fuck.
tell me I don't know anything about you when you're
And
telling me
again, I
you were
have to
not
ask you because I
interested.
did tell you, like, I do get a bit disrespectful, and you know, I got to rein that shit into. But at the same time, why should I give these people respect? I mean, especially Joe. I mean, Jill's kind of like a no-brainer, but like just the whole thing, the piling on, the nonstop. Now, emotional response, rein it in. I think this might actually be the part where I tell myself to rein it in, but maybe not because there's a couple. I mean, they're gonna accuse me. Smokey's gonna accuse me of being a pedo lover, and again, Smokey of all people, not the best move, Smokey. But here comes our friend Gurr. Gurr, if you're still there, here you come.
Interested in
Do
the
not
Bible.
detect my level
You
of
were not
sarcasm, you
interested
fucking
in
moron.
learning about the scriptures
You
and what
are
it
like,
says. You did not
you.
have a relationship with
You and
Christ.
Zekel like have wet dreams
Okay.
about me. I think.
That's why
No,
you fell out the
very
back
good.
door of your
Taking a little
church.
long to rein it in. Not,
I love
come
the
on,
hate.
be
I
better.
feed on it.
Like like I'm
not
There's
hate.
no
literally.
hatred here. What are you
I'm
talking about?
ass
hate.
horny right now.
There's no
Like,
hate. We just
seriously.
point.
Okay,
See,
It's not
don't
hate.
you love the deflection, right? Whenever an atheist gets exposed for their idiocy,
It has
right?
literally been
It
like
turns
40 minutes.
whenever
of,
their
like,
back is up
I
against the
I
wall.
come
What
in
does it
here
turn?
and it's been
What does
40
it
minutes
turn
of
into?
Zekel and Jill
It turns into
talking
personal.
shit.
It gets all
Yeah.
personal.
You
Gets
got
all
you got
All it's
emotional.
been, like it literally. Again, went a bit farther. Got to rein it in. I've been taking it for a while now, but you've been just piling on and just being dismissive, insulting the entire time. Am I supposed to just be cheeky the entire time through that? Like I think I've done a good job till now. Now that was an emotional response. Said some ugly things probably shouldn't have said or phrased the way that I did. But at the same time, you gotta talk to a buffoon like a buffoon. You know, but I am having an emotional reaction. It is what I'm working on, and I failed in this moment. Got to rein it in, and I will. So let's go.
Stuff.
I
haven't
love
said
that
anything
I
about your
trigger
mom.
your existence so
I haven't
much.
said
I
anything
love
about
it.
your bank
I love
account.
everything.
I haven't said
I
anything
love
about your health
everything about it.
problems.
I like
Can I
that
cut
you
in?
guys.
I
think
haven't
about me
said
nonstop.
anything about you personally, except for the
I
fact
will
that you
send
don't
a
know
picture
what
of
you're
my
talking
dick.
about
I will do
when
it
you're on your
right
channel.
now.
That's
Yeah,
all.
he's triggered
Can I-
now.
Yeah,
Can
he
I
is
cut
triggered.
in?
It's easy.
Yeah, and I was, but he keeps talking, so that adds it on. This was probably the worst outburst. I will rate it.
He's gonna
For
go.
just a moment.
He's gonna go vote for Biden again.
Can I cut in
Of course.
for just a moment?
That's because never mind. Thank you.
Early ballot voting.
So let me cut in for just a moment because I just want to make sure.
Sometimes you gotta tell him like it is.
Rage, I'm just going to say this to you. You take it or leave it. Whatever. This is what I see the ultimate point is. Like you can't say I believed in the Christian God if you didn't.
Once
if you
again, telling
didn't
me what I
actually
can't say.
believe in who he was. Like we got lots of people who claim to believe in the Christian God and have no clue anything about him. So claim is just a claim. So like if you don't believe on his work or who he was or who he represented himself to be, then you didn't really believe in him. You know, and that I think that's where they were trying to go with it. Like for you to say, well, I believe in the Christian God, but then you can't like identify him by like his nature or his work, then we don't have anything to go off of for you to say.
Do you hear what like Smokey? I mean, just for one, when Smokey speaks, most of his rambling nonsense, but he's literally like, well, because you're an atheist and you can't understand the workings of God to see the evidence of God, well, you're just an idiot, and why take you seriously? And that's kind of my perspective is like, you believe in this nonsense. Why should I take you seriously? Of course, I don't see God's workings in the world. I don't see much that, I mean, honestly, like any kind of good God would actually be doing. World's not a perfect place. It's far from it. But that's a whole different other discussion. But I think it is important, like that you guys understand, especially once we get to part 2, because you see Danny's coming in, and he's gonna be quiet for quite a while. I might take a shot. I usually will take a shot at Danny. We have fun with each other. But eventually the show is going to shift, and Danny's going to kind of take it over. But really, pretty much because of what Smokey's doing, which you're going to see that part. I'm going to show all that part. I've been streaming for a while. We still got a ways to go. I do have to cook dinner, so we're going to get it on again. I'm going to push the play button.
Say that you actually believed in the Christian God. I mean, you may believed in a God,
No,
but
he went
we
to
don't.
church.
We don't have anything of a baseline to go off of to verify that you believed in the Christian God. I think that's what's trying.
I'll
He was a
answer-
churchy and not a Christian.
Shut up, Vic. I'm going to answer
Right.
Smokey seriously right here. All right. So like, go back in this conversation, Smokey. Right. So Veckel asked me a question. I asked a clarifying question. You know, he asked me, what is the gospel? A very vague question for an atheist of 20 to 25 years or so. Because when you ask me,
Oh,
what
here
is
we
the
go.
gospel?
Oh my God.
Let me
Well,
finish.
let him finish.
Let me finish. When you ask me what is the gospel, I need to know, like, are you talking about the canonical gospels, whatever? Because I did not say the gospel
mean
is the
synoptic?
good. Let me
Shut
finish.
up.
Let
He said
me
canonical.
fucking finish. God damn it. Seriously. I let you guys spew
All
all
right,
this.
I'm sorry.
Just
My
let
bad.
it finish. Come on, guys. Yeah.
All right, my bad, my bad.
Seriously.
Okay.
Because I did not say that the gospel is the good news. There has been a 40-minute diatribe about how I could not have ever possibly have been a Christian. Now,
Rage.
I
real
fueled
quick.
that. I'm going to admit, let me finish. I fueled that by saying I don't believe that I was saved because I'm an atheist now, and I don't think that that's a possibility. I don't believe in being saved. And then you guys went on and just on and just on. Like,
Rage,
I
that-
thought at one point in my life that I believed in the Christian God.
Yeah.
Whether you accept that or not, I don't give a goddamn. That was my life. You cannot possibly know it. So
Rage,
fuck
that's
you.
not my
we
point.
know what you told us. You told us you had no interest in
That's
learning
not even
about
my
the truth.
point.
That's what you
My-
told us.
Rage, that's not even
I
my
got
point. Nothing what you said
vitriolic with
addresses
you
my point.
bitches when you got vitriolic with me. Go back and watch this shit.
You told us your
Rage,
life.
nothing what you said addresses my point. at
So
all.
Rage, when you said you were
And that's exactly true. That's exactly everything that has happened up to this point. Up to this point, it was just nonstop. You guys have watched just the pile on and the pile on. Now, not every Christian in the room is doing it. Oftentimes, when it's an atheist room, it's every goddamn atheist in the room. You know, so I'll give those Christians not participating credit. You know, the Pale Galilean, Saint Beloved, Chris Keith, Praise, they're not really participating in it, and they haven't been. It's been mainly the Veckel show. Smokey's starting to try to take it over, right? But it's been this like nonstop pile on, which I just allow to happen because again, I'm trying to test my cool, and I'm trying to. You've got to do it to actually do it, right? And you got to make that effort. I failed a couple times, especially on that last one. Good Lord, knock, chill the fuck out, right? But like to kind of like they just kind of like ignore all of that, and they just I don't know, in their blood frenzy can't possibly see. And I just laid it all out. That's exactly what happened this whole time. Smokey came out. I thought it was Veckel, but again, it was Smokey that came out of left field with the question, "What is the gospel?" And it's like one of those, what the fuck you talking about, Willis? You know, but I didn't give the password. And here, still, all this time later, that's where we're at. Because they just cannot stand an atheist. But I think I'm taking it like a champ, pretty much, with some failures here and there.
you were kind of like surprised, the idea that like the expectation was like when you said gospel, like we meant the good news. That's literally what gospel means.
I know, right? Like I know that, Smokey.
So,
But
so the
I
idea is-
asked one clarifying
Knows
question.
now.
for
Hold
Veckel
on.
to relay to me what he was meaning when he asked me if I understood the gospel, and it led to 20. Yeah, even in that moment, I guess I obviously it was actually Smokey that had come, but Veckel quite quickly took it over. But it was Smokey that asked the original question. Minutes of straight up.
Yeah, because you wouldn't
vitriol.
stop talking. You wouldn't stop talking.
No,
for a minute.
you wouldn't
So-
stop talking.
so-
I
so
wasn't
Rage,
talking.
You didn't even ask me what the
I
gospel was.
wasn't talking, Veckel.
So, Rage, when you ask
were
a
talking.
baseball player what a
Okay, guys,
baseball
hold on.
when you
Let
ask
me-
a
Go back and
baseball
watch
player
this shit, dude.
What
what
do
a
you know now
baseball
what the
bat
gospel
is, and he can't tell you what a baseball bat is, then it's most likely he was never a baseball
Shut
player.
the fuck up, Joe.
You don't-
Shut the fuck up, Joe. That's how you have to talk to Jill and Veckel. I'm telling you, they're ignorant. And that's pretty much what we've watched. And I'm glad that I did choose to kind of watch this back today. Here, I can turn that back on now. I'm glad that I did choose to watch this back today. There's a glare as the sun is going down. You gotta love that shit. It's coming right from in there. Boom, beam. God is shining his light on me. Because that's pretty much what we've seen. Now, I've gotten some shots in there. You know, eventually after just dog pile on, and you're just at the bottom of that pile, and they're throwing their elbows and rubbing their cleats into your face and shit, you eventually have a reaction. I'm human, but I'm getting better, guys. I think I'm getting better. I'm taking it longer. I'm not flipping out. I don't think I flipped out in this entire stream. In fact, I know I didn't flip out this entire stream because it's gonna go into Danny really taking us on a ride with Smokey. So yeah, I forgot the point that I was fucking making. Damn weed.
don't have
but
to say,
Rage, but Jill, that's not even my
Toby,
point.
what type of bat it was, or he doesn't need clarifying questions for that type of or question or clarifying. He doesn't need you to
Obviously,
clarify.
Jill don't know what a clarifying
Okay.
question.
But wait a minute,
So,
that's
Rage,
not.
let me
But,
tell
but
Why do
Jill,
you
that's
need
not even.
clarifying
Hold on,
questions
Jill-
for the gospel?
respond.
But that might be
Please
your
let me
point, Jill. But
respond.
that's not my point. My point in challenging him. My point was really simple, extremely
No, I
simple.
know your point. I get your point, but I'm just saying
No, your
he
point
didn't even
was
give anything. He didn't
Christians
give
were complimenting
anything.
Rage for his
Oh my
take,
God.
Nothing.
Oh,
and
He
Veckel
gave
got
nothing.
triggered, and
Rage.
that's where
No,
all
I
of
didn't
this-
get triggered
and
by
I
praises.
have been here
Praises to
laughing
you.
about it.
Come
Rage
on now.
didn't
No,
give
That's what
come on.
happened. We
Nobody's
saw-
jealous because you got praised.
Okay,
Yeah,
Rage,
Rage-
let me make this
Go ahead.
simple. Let me
No
make
pun
this
intended.
That has been the story
Rage,
of the
hold on, let me
stream.
make this real simple. If I was talking to someone who claimed to be a Christian, like let's say Thick Shades, for example, and
I don't claim to be a Christian.
and he claims to be a Christian,
Okay.
and then I say,
I don't claim to
what
be a
is the
Christian.
gospel? And he says the first 4 books of the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I know he's a fraud. I know he has no clue.
Right.
I know he has no clue what the gospel is when he would give that answer. So like us,
Well, I
as
asked him,
Christians-
like again, like Smokey just speaks nonsense. Like he tries to sound so smart and like he knows what the fuck he's talking about, and all these Christians actually think he knows what the fuck he's talking about, but he just doesn't. The correlation doesn't compare, my dude. It just doesn't compare. I'm not a person that goes around claiming to be a Christian. Maybe that is the passcode for your Christians. I don't know. I'm an atheist. You know this. Like, it doesn't compare. I also asked what was it the ghetto gospel?
well,
Yeah,
I don't know
that-
what that
that's-
is. I don't even.
Yeah,
know
That's
we
what
don't know
Tupac
what the ghetto
Shakur, my
gospel is.
dude. You need to
That's
check
an
that out. That's
indication
some
you
good
don't know
shit.
what the heck you're talking about.
Only God can judge me.
No, it's an actual song. You know, Praise only heard that one song ever by Tupac, right? Only God Can Judge Me. That's the only song he's probably ever heard by Tupac Shakur. Ghetto Gospel is a good fucking song. If y'all ain't heard it, go watch it. I ain't gonna do what I did with the Biggie Smalls thing yesterday. You know, it's a good video. If you ain't heard it, it's good music. Don't mix up the audience. If you haven't heard it, Tupac Shakur, Ghetto Gospel.
Well, there's
So
only 2 black guys
gospel-
in here, so you know.
So gospel literally means good news. That's so.
Veckel
so the
probably
question-
know that. Maybe.
Well,
No, you don't.
So then the question is,
Oh, he's such a trumper. I'm not sure, but probably.
what is the good news? And that is the message of the identity and work of Jesus Christ.
That Jesus Christ raised from the dead and died for your sin. That is
Oh!
the good news.
God, that he was God sent by God the Father. to
Exactly.
earth
Of course I
die
know
for the
this.
sins
Like,
of the
fucking,
world.
and I mean, of course I've heard it before. Like, you don't even have to be an ex-Christian to have heard that stupid shit. You just need to clarify that that's what you meant. You should have said, like, I need the passcode, you know. Of course I know this.
Then why can't you reiterate it then?
I asked a clarifying question.
It took
Beckel,
30
you
minutes for you to
fucking
say
idiot.
that.
I
You know why you
asked
say it
several
now?
clarifying
Because
questions. We
at
add a
because
question mark
Smokey-
at the end of the sentence. You're
You know why
supposed
you're
to
saying it
answer
now?
not go on a diatribe.
The only reason
I
why
don't
you're
think
saying it
Zero
now is
read
because
John.
Smokey, because Praise read 1 Corinthians 15, 1-14. That's why.
And
That's the only
Rage
reason why you're saying
also,
it now.
Rage. I'm trust me, I'm with you. But another way of viewing the question is like, how would you still man the core tenet
I saw
or
that shit
tenets
earlier.
of Christianity?
Yeah, I think Gurr says that he'd only like watched 10 minutes before. And if you've been watching a while now, hopefully you understand my position, Gurr. Why should I give him any respect at this point at all whatsoever? Don't really feel a need to steel man their position. What position? Like, what position? What are we even talking about? What we've done is just, it's been like a rage hate fest for like an hour. You know, like, we haven't covered much ground. Like, we covered the ground of I'm not a Christian, or I never could have possibly been a Christian because I didn't give the passcode. So what position would I be steel manning? One. And two, why give them any respect at all? Why come in and like try to placate a room full of assholes that have been just dogpiling on me for like you know, you don't have to come in and take my side necessarily, but at the same time to just kind of like, just to add to the dogpile is kind of fucked up, my dude. I'm just saying. But that's like asking me to give legitimacy to all these fucks. Like, I came in here giving them legitimacy, girl. I came in here like having an honest conversation, and it turned
Rich, I
into this.
haven't even
You
really
cannot
gone in
fucking
on
do that. Like, no, Smokey's been cool. That's like the second time Smokey said that now. Maybe even the third time. I haven't even really gone in on you yet. So we're getting to the spicy. Smokey, you've been cool. You've been good.
I haven't said anything either.
You know, no, Veckel and
like
Jill,
that,
Veckel
Ray.
and Jill
I don't
have wet
care.
dreams
I don't care
about
what
me.
you
Back
think.
going down. Back going down.
I know, yeah, it's always two black guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Rage,
And he voted
just
for Biden.
Blame it
put
on the
things in
black guys,
perspective.
man.
If you were to
Oh,
ask
yeah.
a Christian,
No.
what does
It
what does
wasn't
it mean
the
to be
fact
an
that they were
atheist?
actually the ones doing it, right?
But if you or I were to ask, hey, to a Christian, what does it mean to be an atheist? And they said, oh, it's to believe in monkeys. Men came from monkeys. We'd say, okay, no, you don't know what atheist means. That's essentially on the other side of this. This
but
argument
Gurr,
is what they're
No,
asking.
I never answered the question. I asked a clarifying question, and then I got a diatribe.
Dude, you just wasted like 40 minutes playing dumb. You know exactly what he was talking
I
about.
know.
No, he asked me what the
I don't
gospel
think he's
was.
playing.
Well, and to be fair, I've only watched the past 10 minutes or so. So yeah,
Gospel
I don't
was.
know.
I would have
I
been
think-
happy.
I don't
I would have
get
been.
that
I
either.
would have been satisfied.
Oh,
if you
trust me,
didn't-
hey, Gurr, I'll be covering this shit soon. Like, this is. Yeah, and I think I do, and you're gonna answer honestly, and maybe hopefully I helped you a little bit because I'm gonna ask a question soon. It's like, all right, so we the atheists, we're supposed to come in. Here, I can turn that back on. We're expected to come in and answer every question just perfectly, no matter what, just to prove that we we're even what we were when we grew up. Kind of weird, really weird way we've been going with this, to say the least. And yeah, I kind of understand that, but I don't understand that because I think it's degrading to us. And I'm going to ask you the question, and you're going to answer it honestly. Like, do you think a single Christian in this room has any respect one bit about our position as an atheist? However I worded it last night, and you're going to answer it correctly. Yeah, it's just, I don't really think that there's really, 'cause this is like the brilliant thing of being the lone atheist when you go into these rooms, is if you can keep your chill. There's, there was a couple times where I'm like, I wish I'd have done better in those moments, without a doubt. It really becomes easy just to show you how shitty these Christians are, especially in these group atmospheres when they're feeding off of each other. and it gets kind of darker and darker, and the blows just keep going lower and lower and lower, and most atheists just bow out. After a while, you can only take so much. But I am a glutton for punishment. I do kind of get my jocks off on it as long as they're not going too personal. That's usually when I have my issues, and I'm really even trying to, you know, shield myself again emotionally from that, to where I don't respond to those situations either. And that'll be a big test when those moments come up. Because I don't really think they have yet, since I've really been kind of like focused in on this when I do these conversations now. So, and again, I don't usually show these conversations anymore. If it happens on another channel, it happens on another channel. But this one, I'm glad that I did, because it's pretty much the way that I remembered it. Fucking phenomenal.
Rage, I'd have been satisfied.
We know you will. And you're not going to be able to. You're going to once again prove that you don't know jack squat about Christianity.
Make sure you include the gospel.
I would have been satisfied. Rage,
you're a Dragnut wannabe. That's what you are, man.
I'm a Dragnut wannabe. That's an insult to Dragnut right there.
Dragnut wannabe, bro.
I mean, it's really like, do they not understand how flattering it is? Because you're comparing me to Dragnut Silvis, who is a brilliant man, has a successful career, probably a very successful life. Has a channel that's more and more successful. They compare me sometimes to Matt Dillahunty. They compare me to Skylar Fiction. They compare me to all of these people. And I'm like, do you not know that I consider that like a compliment? Like you're not dissing me right now.
Having all of Basement Dwellers memes.
Beckel.
Rage, do you know the most famous verse in the Bible?
He don't know it.
Huh?
That's why I kept.
What's the shortest verse in the Bible?
Is it John?
All right, so I don't even I didn't even really remember this part, but let's ask the chat. What's the most famous verse of the Bible?
Do you know what the most famous verse in the Bible is? Rage?
He don't know it.
I'm just guessing. It's John 3:16.
I mean, like, if you
what? Like, why would I care about the most famous?
Because you talk about Christianity every day. That's why you should care. You should be able to,
I
as
talk
one
about,
that is educated in the
topic.
topic.
Do y'all know what the most famous Bible passage? Is that something we should know? Like, I don't know. Like, I know the ones that I know. Like, I know the ones that I use consistently. If I'm especially talking about an Old Testament God, I can usually bring those. I can usually bring the words to the surface. If I don't have it in front of me, I probably couldn't give you chapter and verse. I'm not a Christian, and I don't concern myself with such things. But I could probably give you a few verses that I know best. Do you guys know what the most famous Bible passage is in the Bible? Because is there a famous Bible passage? Listen to me, dude. Listen to me right now. I guess there'd be a lot of them, I think. What I talk about is being an atheist. I don't. Okay. I mean,
oh my God.
But you said earlier you came here to.
But you talk about Christianity all the time.
Do you know what?
Yeah, because I live in a country ruled by Christianity.
Okay, so you should, if you're going to oppose it in some way, shape, or form, should you be educated enough to know what the hell you're talking about?
Why? If I'm an atheist,
why? If you want to be taken seriously by any
why do I care about being taken seriously by a bunch of
real basic questions when somebody asks you a question?
Seriously by
and you display throwing
elbows. Why would I want to be taken seriously?
You don't know what the gospel is. I asked you what the gospel is, and you don't know.
I care about your opinion of me.
Maybe you don't want to take it seriously, but do you at least want to be honest?
At least Chase does have the appropriate background going. I have to give him that. Has the fire going. It's pretty hot up in there.
Good question.
Hold on,
do you want to be honest?
What is it? What is
it with Christian?
Can you answer that?
Why?
Do you want to be honest?
Why would I not just be an atheist and tell you?
That's a good question.
Do you want to, because you're going on your channel, going live? Do you want to be honest?
Yeah, I'll probably do it tomorrow too.
Do you want to be honest in your assessment of Christianity?
Are you honest in your assessment?
Okay,
of
there you go. See, he can't answer the question.
So,
well, I think I do understand the thing that I criticize, but what is that thing? It's a monolith. How many denominations are there? How many different traditions? How many translations? Which one am I supposed to understand exactly? The one that I understand the best, probably because it's the one that I looked at most extensively the most recently, would be the NIFB. But which one would be the correct one, and which one should I give you accurately? Like, to think that anybody in the United States of America doesn't understand the impact of Christianity on America makes you a clown. So to ask ridiculous questions in the side chat like that, V57, just does not show your intellect, or the fact that you can even pick up on this disdain that I clearly have the right to show all of these people. And none of them could pick up anything like jokes or any kind of just like, you know, sarcastic criticisms that might have come their way because they were just dogpiling and dogpiling and dogpiling and dogpiling. And why should anybody respect that? Even a Christian such as yourself. I don't understand how that fits into your Christian worldview. So if you're going to criticize me for not being able to understand you, maybe you should fucking understand yourself, my dude. Are you honestly? Are you honest of your?
You don't know. This guy got into debates with Christians about Christianity.
Yeah, sure. Let me answer
about
that.
Their assessment of
sure.
atheists?
Let me answer
Nobody
that.
takes you seriously, Ray.
Listen to me answer that. So when you stand before God, you will be judged.
I don't
based
think
on
that
the fact
God exists. So how am I going to stand before God?
Jill, he doesn't care about that stuff.
Based on the fact
You're an
that
idiot.
you had
You're going to offer me
opportunities
some Pascal's wager?
to honestly make an assessment, and you purposely thinking that you're going to have an excuse before God when you stand before him, but he's not going to allow you to tarry in his sight. You purposely are ignorant of the text, of the gospel, because you think that's going to be an excuse on Judgment Day. You think you're going to stand before God and say, "Oh, I didn't know. Nobody ever told me this was. Nobody ever taught me the God. No one." You think that's going to be an excuse, but God's going to say, "Depart from me, you work of iniquity."
No excuse at all.
Unfortunately, unless you repent.
I mean, Jill is like the dumbest man on the planet, right? Maybe not dumber than V57 in the side chat there, but did you just hear that ridiculous shit? Like, so my atheism is only an excuse that I'm going to use when I'm faced with God to say, "Oh, I didn't know." That's Jill for you. He's special. He's a very special,
Unless I
special man.
repent.
So
Unless
I guess you just sold me, Jill. I'm gonna go repent.
You should, yeah.
Yeah. Can I masturbate first?
If you still have a Johnson left,
You can get married. That's what you can do. You can get married.
Oh, so I can't masturbate? I can't just
No,
jack
get
it?
married.
No, thank you, Stephanie. So should I get married before I become a
Hey,
Christian?
God, before you send me to hell, let me just rub one off real quick.
I thought that was a good one. No criticisms of myself.
So no, you can't wait, God. Oh, God, you can't wait to. Okay, fine. I'll just rub one on. I'll just rub one off on the way to hell then, as I'm falling into the pit.
Great.
Leave his stream.
you know that's exactly what'll be happening anyway. Remember the text says gnashing of the teeth, right? Oh, you don't know about that, Rage, though, dude. You don't know nothing about that. You don't even know what gnashing of the teeth actually means. That's exactly what you'll be doing.
But what does Danny think about
That's what you'll be doing when you go to hell. You'll be
Isn't that
gnashing
like-
your teeth at God for all eternity.
I thought that was like the demons gnashing their teeth at us.
No,
because,
humans
they're
will be
being
doing that
rewarded.
too.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. Thinking about it right now because I remembered myself going into it last night. This one's kind of like the gnashing of teeth is what the humans do when they're in hell, not what like for some reason I was thinking it might be something that the demons were doing with an eternity of paradise for getting to torture
humans. Stop Devontae's. You reading the black version of the Bible, the Ebonics version, Devontae's Inferno. It ain't
and the lake of fire. Everybody suffers.
Okay.
That's
Everybody, the demons are going there,
Michigan.
the devil's going there, the Antichrist, the beast, all that stuff.
No, that's
Every last one of those dudes are going to hell. You don't believe that, of course, because you're an atheist. But yet here you are on your channel every day talking about Christianity. You don't know jack squat about Christianity, but yet you're talking about it.
Well, he's convincing himself that Christianity is irrational. Like I said, he thinks that's going to be an excuse. He thinks God's going to say, "Oh, you know what? You were right about that Genesis."
Complete dismissal of me as an atheist. I think that it's an excuse. Like God is a God that even try excuses with. I'm just using it as an excuse. Using what as an excuse? What is it going to like? If this bullshit is real, what would that excuse, Jill? Like it does. Yeah, Jill. He's just special.
He's got two things against him.
Like,
he doesn't know what he's talking about.
To convince himself that the Bible is irrational. Therefore,
God is so badass that I'm just so afraid.
And most atheists are in that position, except for Danny. I like Danny. I think he's
Of
safe.
course you like Danny. Danny placates you.
Most
bitches.
atheists, and
Yeah, dude, I'll take some shots at Danny, but Danny's gonna come and do a good job, and Danny's actually he's a good dude.
that's why they stay away from certain channels and certain Christians who can answer these
Oh,
questions.
really? I really stay away from y'all. I've only been here like
I'm challenging you
all
today.
night, right?
Well,
Rage.
yeah, you're in a room with a bunch of people
Rage.
where there nothing.
Man,
can
I
really
am
get
loving
accomplished.
every minute of this.
Rage,
shit.
I'm
This is
challenging.
great. Yeah, we're gonna start getting it to. All right, so Smokey's really mad. Smokey doesn't like that I'm not flipping out. I think I don't know. Like Smokey's gonna get really mad. So again, I want to preface, and I've done this several times because I wasn't sure when it was gonna happen, but it's got to be getting close because we got to be If I'm gonna cook dinner anytime soon, we've got to be getting to where Smokey's gonna make the case that I'm a pedo lover. But slurs are coming. And I want to warn you guys, because usually, I did not take the time to go through and edit out the slurs that are coming.
You today. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing on your channel. All I ask
Smokey
is for
get
one
mad. So-
humongous favor.
If I
Okay.
do worse shit, will I get punished more in
I
hell?
just Rage. All I'm asking is for one single favor. I think it's not too hard to ask. Okay, it's not a big thing to ask. Please be educated on what it is that you're talking about. That's all I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
You
Like you are.
participating. Yes, I am. I'm willing to debate you on any Christian topic
Really?
anytime you're ready. You
All right.
debated on Christians. You debated Christians on the stuff that we believe. That means that you probably took some time to study the topic that you're about to talk about. Why is it that you
Sometimes.
can't do that into its entirety on your channel when it comes to the gospel?
Because I'm so stupid.
Well, that
Wasn't Vecco saying that he never watches my channel earlier? Do you guys remember that part? Because now he's like pretending like he always watches my channel, and he knows what I do on my channel, and I'm clearly not doing something right on my channel, according to Vecco. Do you think Vecco understands just how inconsistent he is the longer he's in any conversation? Do you think he actually understands that about himself? I mean, think what you want about me, but I'm a highly consistent person. I think it's all stupid. I'm not afraid to say it.
you said it, not me. But I'm just saying, when it comes to the gospel, though,
I know
somebody
I'm
asked me
so
what the gospel
dumb.
is.
Like,
Why don't you
like
know?
Yeah,
the
and
gospel?
biggest idiot
Rage,
ever.
Rage. Listen, man. Like, I'm with you when it comes to agreeing that it's dumb.
So, Gert, I love you, my dude, but at the same time, I don't think you quite understand how to fight the battle sometimes. I'm just saying.
But you also, it is good to understand it though before you can, explain that.
Honestly,
You
Gert,
would never see me
Gert,
participate.
come on, dude, you're sucked right into the theist piling on the atheist and adding to their narrative. Like I don't. Grage doesn't understand anything. God damn it! What side am I on?
In a debate against a Muslim. You know why?
Yeah, I
know
love
Jack
you,
Squad
but
about this.
shut up, Becco. Gert, you honestly think I don't understand their Bible?
No, I'm not
you don't.
saying that. But when it
You
comes to the core tenet of the faith,
Gert, why are you seriously coming in here and agreeing with all these bitches here?
Oh, come on. It's not about him agreeing with us. He's giving you right.
I mean, I find it funny.
least-
I really do.
Oh, here we go with the emotion.
I do just ask it directly. I'm a directly blunt person sometimes. I'm not saying you have to agree with me or defend me anyway, but like just don't come in and pile on with the theists. Would be nice.
no, Rage. Like I'm on your side. Like I agree with you, but I'm just saying, it is good to understand the side that you're opposing. That's all I'm saying. Like
Sad, pathetic, low life.
Still, I'm keeping my chill, y'all.
losers.
It's good.
Gert,
It's
do
all
they
good.
understand us?
Probably not. but that still doesn't make it right to not understand what you're saying, but still.
So, even though I was a Christian, despite what all of these fuckers in this room says, I was a
and
Christian
I would agree.
for a certain amount of my amount of time in my life. I can't possibly understand what they're saying, but because they are not willing to understand myself, I have to sit here and try to pretend like I understand Veckel's insanity. Like seriously, Gert, like grow some balls, dude. Seriously.
I'm in your face, bro.
about
What
you?
are you talking about? I have testicular fortitude. I'm in your face right
now. Not like you have watched it all now. I think you can clearly see, like this has been a pile on. This is like, and at that time you've been in the room for quite a while. It's a nonstop pylon, but I do think I'm taking my chill, taking my punches. I've always been able to take a punch. It's always been when I was young, it was like a fault because I'd get in a lot of fights and shit.
Right now, what are you talking about? I'm not going anywhere.
Echo, how about you invite Rage to your channel for one-on-one where you can answer all of his questions about the Bible? Rage,
That's
what do you
fine
say?
with me.
Rage,
It's
what
fine
do you
with
say?
me.
I'm going to demonstrate what I said earlier was true. Rage, what do you say? Just
No,
you
he'd
and
rather
Beckle.
just ridicule, which is fine if he can do that. It's
Let
his
him
channel.
answer. Rage, what do you say?
I think I might be AFK.
Now he's silent. Now.
I'll moderate.
So he wants to. So here's the deal, and this is the case I found with most atheists on the internet.
You see, I've always had to be AFK as I do these, unless it's just like a one-on-one. But if I'm in a room or something, I'll go AFK. I'll put my mute button on. You guys know. You guys watch me talk to this thing, say nothing for minutes before I realize I gotta it's this really itty bitty button. Yeah, you gotta push on OBS. So. Yeah, I do that all the time. I don't see how Christians can sit on their right here in this fucking spot for hour after hour after hour after hour after hour, because that would drive me insane. Hell no. Can't do that. So I'll be AFK, and if I hear they start addressing me directly wherever I'm at in the house, I try to run back.
They really don't want to engage with a Christian that can answer those questions and dispel all of their myths that they have about the Bible. They're holding on to it for dear life, literally, because they think they're going to be able to stand before God and say, "Look at this, God. No one answered these questions. This book doesn't make any sense."
He's still on this thing it's all just an excuse for God. I don't grant the God premise. I'll grant it for a conversation with fine folk like these assholes, but I don't grant that in real life. To me, that's like I don't even know how to describe what it is, because it's like a nothing. It's like nothing. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in a paradise if you believe in God. I don't believe in a hell if you don't believe in God. I don't believe in angels doing whatever the hell they're doing all around us, because they clearly ain't in hell. I don't believe in none of that. It doesn't factor into my life outside of coming on to YouTube and talking about the fact that I don't believe in none of that. I don't believe in Hinduism. I don't believe in... Islam's pretty much the same goddamn thing. I don't believe in Judaism. I don't believe in Native American shit no more. I don't believe in Taoism. I followed that for a while. I don't believe in none of it. To me, there's no reason to believe in any of it. But I digress. Pausing too much. Let's watch.
Since it's not my fault that I'm going to hell.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but
again,
I will say this.
That's not going to be an excuse you're going to be able to have before the
I
God.
don't want to toot my own horn, but let me say this real quick.
Real quick. I was literally
hold on. Let me just say this real quick.
No, real quick. I was literally pissing when Jill asked me that. Veckel, you want me one-on-one? Taking a piss. You want to have a conversation?
What topic you want to talk about?
You're going to answer all
what
his
questions. What do you want to talk about, my dude?
All your questions.
No. Okay, well, let's talk about what the gospel is then. How about that?
This is where we set up a conversation. All right. So
come to my channel, or I come to your channel. Doesn't matter.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Invite me to the Lions, then I will take you on.
What the gospel?
And we can talk about. We can talk about what is the gospel.
You and him.
Wait a minute. What the gospel is? All right. So that's the topic.
The topic will be, what is the gospel? What did the early church fathers say it was? What does the Bible say it is?
No,
okay. What do Christians today say the gospel is? Okay.
No, okay. Let that be part of the conversation, but also answering all of your objections to the scriptures, all of them. If Bethel doesn't want to do it, I'll do it.
You want me to come up with a list for all of my objections?
All of your objections to scripture.
So we'll have this conversation in 6 months.
6 months?
6 months.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. All of my objections to scripture.
What were you at the DC? What were you at January 6th? You still gonna be in jail or something?
I'm just saying, you want all of my objections to scripture. Once again, we have no ability to pick up on, for one, sarcasm. I mean, yeah, it's funny, but it's also true. Like, maybe they just don't understand that I could possibly have enough criticisms of the Bible that I would literally need about 6 months to prep for that conversation. And, you know, like, it's almost like they're inhuman in a lot of ways. And I hate to say that because I don't want to dehumanize these fellow or fine human beings here. But it's like they're not exhibiting very much, I don't know, human capacity. And I have to ask, are they lizard people? You know, like, oh my God. Scripture, I'm going to need some time.
It's mad now.
Oh my gosh. This is... It's not appropriate for children. Praise you and these cutout images, man.
One criticism. There's no way Ken Hovind will ever look that sexy, okay? You got to give him a beard cut.
All right, so what's the topic going to be? Because I want to get back to Germania, who, like, notice how I do not sit there and just, you know, have fun with the theists that have been just, like, insulting the entire time. I mean, literally, for one, praise, you seriously got to grow up a little bit, my dude. I mean, I'm not one to tell you, but it's not funny. Wants me to respect these motherfuckers that
no, dude, I'm not.
minutes,
No, I'm
50
not
minutes
saying
straight
that.
up fucking disrespecting the hell out of me.
No,
like I have
nobody's-
sat here chill the whole time. Rein it in.
Rage, you need to stop the nonsense. Nobody.
Stop.
I was
Like
not.
Beckel and Jill
I did
have
not
been going
personally
on this
attack
fucking
you.
Wet fucking dream spree. Did I
did not-
like, you know, Rage, you need to respect Beckel. That doesn't seem like the spot that I paused it on.
I am not saying respect.
Rage, I
I'm
did
just
not
saying
personally attack
understand.
you.
That's
I didn't
all.
talk about your mom. I didn't talk about your family or your health problems or anything personal. I'm criticizing you because you are on your channel talking about stuff that you don't know about, that you're not very educated
All right, so what's the topic gonna be, Beckel?
The topic will be about what the gospel is. How about that?
What the gospel is. All right.
Yeah,
When
what
are
is
we
the
gonna,
gospel?
all right, so, you know, maybe a little frustrations, girl, last night. But, you know, again, like, you don't have my perspective. So I've been, you know, it's like I said, I named it the dog pile for a reason because it's been quite a thing. And then I don't think you're there. Like, man, we must still have a ways to go. It might be a late dinner tonight because it doesn't seem like we're quite even really close to Smokey going where he's going to go. Let me see. I can find it real quick and I'll have an idea of how much time we got before that happens. All right. I think that might be it. No. That's it right there. So, man, we still got a whiles. I said I'm going to get through it. So I'm going to get through it. So, yeah, I think we still have like a good hour probably of shit to watch. So, I'm going to let it play. When are we going to
and I'm not asking what you think the gospel is.
Well, no, you're
I'm
going to get
asking
what the
you
fuck I
what
think
it is.
No, you cannot invite me on your channel and then say I don't care what you think.
No. That's not how you debate.
That's literally-
Unless you want it to be like a free fall.
He literally just said, you know, you come on my channel, but I don't care what you think. Like, that's not how it works, my dude.
So
I'm not supposed to debate what I think.
No. You can debate what you think. What I'm going to challenge you though is to prove it objectively. Though, I don't care what you think. I don't give a crap about your feelings or your opinions. I don't care.
I gotta let it play. Prove it objectively. Are you going to be able to do that, Vecco? I hope so.
It's a waste of time for you to get on
I don't have to prove
somebody's
nothing.
platform and just, well, my opinion is this, my opinion is that. We're going to talk about movies, video games.
what have
We can
you
talk
ever
about opinions.
Whoa,
there.
that was really mean. That's
Well,
not
let's talk
Christian
about what
like.
the facts are, bro.
What are you? What have you proven objectively, Vecco?
Okay, when I'm asked, what I've proven objectively tonight, that you don't know jack squat about the gospel or the Christian tenets.
Oh, really?
at all. Yeah.
You've
You
also
don't know
proven
jack
that
squat.
I was never a Christian, right?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that because I think that in
No,
complete
you
and utter
literally
ignorance,
did. Like we heard it, you guys heard it. He literally said that.
that God, in His sovereignty and His providence, could save you no matter what. Okay.
I mean, This all stemmed from like.
But so I'm
comment
not
that I
going to
made
question
on
yourself.
O
I'm not going to. I'm not questioning your salvific status. That's not my point. My point is the knowledge that you have of Christianity, which you
All right.
obviously don't have.
But like your point was, I didn't have knowledge of Christianity, so I could have never been a Christian, right?
Right. No, I didn't say that.
No, you just said
I didn't
right.
say that. No, I did
God
not say
damn
that
it.
you couldn't have been a
Gospel
Christian.
was.
I didn't say that. You're not. See, again, you're not listening. I'm going to say.
Like, we literally all sat here and heard it, right? We heard what we heard, right? Because I heard it again.
One more time.
Because I've literally
No,
been told
you're
that
mixing.
several
You're mixing
times
what I
tonight.
said and what Jill said. Jill is the one that's questioning you whether or not you were ever a Christian or not.
No, Jill was saying that I was using an excuse. Smokey and Veckel were saying that I was never a Christian. We all just sat here and listened to it. Veckel is very inconsistent in these conversations, Joe.
I'm talking about the knowledge that you have or pretend to have about Christianity, which you don't have.
I
You don't
do
have
a
it.
question.
Rage, you don't.
Veckel, if I understand it right, you believe in Calvinism or
That's irrelevant to the topic, but yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Well, I was just going to say, if Rage does not become a Christian, is that because God did not predestine him to be a Christian?
Okay, now I'm going to say this again for the 5th time. I'm not challenging him on whether or not he was actually a Christian.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm
I get
challenging
that.
him on the knowledge that he pretends to have on his YouTube
Okay.
channel.
Yeah,
when
no,
he
I'm-
criticizes and ridicules Christians every day. How does it, when he doesn't even know what the gospel is, the simplicity of the gospel? Why are you on your channel criticizing something that you don't know about?
Yeah, no, I get that.
I criticize myself. We'll turn this on for a second. And I have throughout this entire stream, and I think it's definitely necessary that I take certain insults that I use away. Some are fine, but some are definitely not necessary. But there's a reason you utilize them. I mean, because Veckel is just nonstop. He'll take like breathers. So like, I don't know, like, maybe he's going to check in on his kid, but you know, it doesn't take long, and the entire time it's just nonstop, just damn vitriol. For a person that claims not to watch my channel, he seems to be really offended by my channel, which means I'm doing my job correctly. So Veckel, you're probably watching, or you'll watch the playback. How you doing, bro? Now, I'm going to enter in this conversation. I don't expect to get more than 10 words. Maybe we'll have a pool on how many words I get in. But I hope that you can prove objectively your claim, because you're the one that's making a claim here. I'm not. I just lack a belief in your God claim. That's it. That's all. It's nice to meet you. My name's the Raging Atheist. You can call me Knock.
I get that completely. But again, this is probably
get
changing
that?
gears too much.
You honestly get that, Gerd.
I bet if you
Of course he
gave
gets it. It's real
if you
simple.
gave Rage multiple choice, you'd get the right answer.
Yeah, eventually, right? Yeah, it's a trial and error.
No, I'm serious. I'm saying serious. Like, I think Rage would recognize.
Why are you
not
calling
I
me
agree.
Knock? Now you say something and everyone erupts. Like, why, Danny? Why?
Danny, I agree with you on that. But the problem is, though, he's on his channel I don't know. I'm not subscribed to his channel, but he's on it a lot. And if I just go to his channel right now and I just scroll through all the videos that he has uploaded, it's about Christianity, this Christian over here. Oh, yeah.
You know, critiquing myself, like the good job that I do is, even though I do lose my cool a couple times, and I still say like nowhere near like some of those rage moments. I mean, y'all been here long enough, you've seen them. But even though I do lose my cool a couple times, I do rein it in the entire night, like for several hours, 3 hours, over 3 hours. I'm able to rein it in, get my composure back, find a little bit of humor again, which in these situations I think is vitally important, because it's the only real way you can survive them. You've got to kind of laugh it off, because when you don't, then you have those emotional reactions. You've got to be able to kind of just laugh it off and take it, because it is exhibiting exactly what I wanted to exhibit. It's exhibiting exactly how Christians are in their nature, especially when they congregate in groups. And, you know, they don't like the talk that, you know, how we talk about this institution. But then they go and they show it, and they don't even realize that they're showing it. And I think it's brilliant. But it gets hard. It gets hard. I ain't going to lie.
We got some funny material for this Christian over here and what he or she said, blah, 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 blah. You know, and you've also participated in some debates with some Christians. So that tells me that you think that you know
About
something
18 of
about
them.
Christianity.
about
Okay.
Well, I
18
think it'd be
debates.
more interesting.
Okay, so
to-
you participated in 18 debates, Rage, but yet you don't know what the gospel is?
And I think it's 18. I think at last count it was 18. It could be 19, but I think it was 18. I keep meaning like to go through and create, a debate playlist of all my debates from beginning to end. At one point I was going to review them beginning to end because I think it would be nice to look at the progression because I think that there has definitely been a progression when it comes to actual debates that I've participated in.
Well, I think it'd be more interesting to
asked a
bring up
question.
something in his videos that you could like specifically address.
Actually,
Like that might be more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, because that way, Rage, you'll be more prepared.
I mean,
because
I
since you've
just
already
literally
addressed it.
I asked you a clarifying question, and you've been like just going on like a fucking madman for 50 minutes.
Well, what's the clarifying question that I didn't answer?
What did you mean by the gospel?
Oh my gosh. Okay. First of all, we read the gospel to you.
Well, Smokey answered it for you. Like he doesn't even like Vecco. I honestly think smokes more weed than I do because he's got worse short-term memory than I do because he doesn't even remember the things that happen in the conversations he has. And it's because he's so focused on taking over conversations. This is what Vecco does. It's what he does in every conversation I've seen him on. And it's what he even tries to do in debates, even though a debate is supposed to be an exchange of ideas. Vecco tries to take them over. So he's so focused that he can't really listen or understand what's going on because it's been just this nonstop diatribe of I hate the raging atheist. And like I said, again, that means that I'm doing my job here. It means that I am rubbing you the wrong way just for not having the same belief that you have. And that's a you problem. That's not a me problem.
No. He answered it for you. I know what the gospel is.
No, he answered it for you because you never
No.
did.
He answered it for you because when I asked you what it is, you didn't know what it was. You were quiet for a minute, and then you started going on some other stuff. You're accusing me of accusing
and Smokey
No,
saying
you were running, Rage. Don't try to put it on me. Rewind the video. You'll see that you were running.
Real quick.
Was
I do
I running?
affirm that Veckel definitely does know what the gospel is. We've discussed it multiple times. I have no doubt in my mind that Veckel and Jill and Praise and Chris Keith and even Saint Beloved and certainly Kenny and even Fro really all know what the gospel, even though I don't even think Fro is a Christian, but he knows what all these people know what the gospel is. So I am. Yeah, what? Oh, Fro, come on! You know where I'm at with the weird things you've affirmed on my stream. You know where we're at with that. But anyway,
That's all I'm saying, Rage. That's all I'm asking. It's just that one small favor. Just please, if you're going to bring criticism to any of the Christian tenets, please at least show the audience. And you can do it for ridicule, but.
Vecco, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Will Kincaid. You cannot run my channel. You can't edit my videos. You can't tell me what to say or what to do. You're Vecco. I'm Rage. Go fuck yourself, bro.
There should be some.
When are we having this conversation?
There should be some sincerity.
So when are we going to have this
in what you're
conversation?
expressing?
I think you guys need a moderator. I think you guys need a moderator. I volunteer.
I mean you keep going on. I got the topic out
Rage,
of you.
I'll
so-
even come on
All right,
your
fine.
channel and moderate it there.
When are we going to have this conversation, Vecco? I don't expect much out of it because you just
because you're an atheist. That's why.
you're just Vecco. But
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So when are we going to have it? I'm usually off on Sundays. I can usually guarantee a Sunday off, but then my schedule will be like fluctuating.
Well, my schedule's kind of crazy too.
If you want to go by Jill's rules, and I need to like lay out all of my issues with the Gospels, I'm going to need 6 months. But if you want to have a conversation about what the gospel is,
Why do you need 6 months? Why not 6
well,
weeks?
because like Christianity is so stupid, I would have to take my time with that. But if you want to have a conversation about what it literally took them that long to get it, y'all. I can turn that back on now. It literally took them that long to get that, and they say I'm dense. Like, what the fuck is up with that?
That sounds like an excuse to me.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Like, so I'm open on Sundays. What Sunday do you want to do it?
Rage, that sounds
It
like
can't
an
be
excuse,
next
but,
Sunday because next Sunday's Super Bowl. You know.
Next Sunday. Well,
Good
I
on
could.
that.
Yeah, I
But
can't do it next.
it is dark now, so I need to turn on more lights. I'll be right back.
Sunday either.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
Matthew
how
Stafford's in the
how
Super Bowl. I'm not
what
missing
is it,
that shit.
Monday? Not this coming Monday.
See, Mondays I cannot guarantee because I work. Sundays I'm off. You know?
Okay, so what's today's date? Today is
No, if you want, like, I will grant you, like, we can take some time, and I can, like, if you want to set up a conversation when I know my weekly schedule and I know that second day off, and it would be easier for you, I'm willing to do it. I'm saying, like, let's have this conversation, but now we can, like, stir the conversation back towards something we can all talk about, and it can't be like this giant rage hate fest. I mean, I'm all good for it. I'm sure it'll come up again, but let's like let it come up with a different subject.
I'm thinking maybe the 20th, in my opinion, would be the best. I could do the 13th though.
13th or the 20th? Are those what days do those?
Yeah,
fall
those are
on?
both Sundays. The 13th in the evening. I'm on the East Coast. So
Well, if
right now-
if the 20th is the best, then we'll settle on the 20th, and I'll make sure. You know, I'll let my boss know. Don't work me on that Sunday if you were planning on.
now, if you want to do it on the 20th, what time would that be?
You know, no football. Whatever time is good for you.
Okay. Well,
How
I'll be
about
free.
the
Like
top
maybe
3 reasons why you don't believe?
Well, I just gave the
Not-
top 10 reasons why heaven was in paradise.
that's not what I want to challenge him on. Because I'm not going to waste my time on why he doesn't believe. Because you know, I'm a Calvinist. So.
What the gospel is, I'm good with that.
So,
Rage, you could just pick 3 things that you disagree with, like in regards to the gospel. I think
yeah, that would be better.
3
So
points.
we're not doing what the gospel is. We're going to do 3 things I disagree with the gospel.
Well, I think we should do that,
easier.
and maybe it'll turn. We can let it, go off on some.
It's easier, but I find it funny. Like, you can't even settle on what you want to fucking talk to me about, dude. Like, that's kind of odd. You have to get suggestions from all these different people, and you've suggested a couple different things, and then Jill just suggested. I mean, does anybody even remember the nonsense that Jill suggested? Because I mean, he suggested something, but it was such nonsense I can't even remember it.
Rabbit trails, whatever.
All right. No, I'm good with both. Like 3 things I disagree with the gospel is easy. Yeah,
Okay, but I
that's
don't
an
want
easy
to. I don't want to know what you disagree with. I want to know.
now you
if
don't
it's
wanna
true
do
or
that.
not. That's what I want to know. And if you even
When did the gospel begin?
So are you going to tell me? Let me tell you guys, this is going to be a useful conversation. How you know that God is true?
No. I want to challenge
So
you.
I have to do
tell
something that
me
you don't
and
have
the
to do?
audience what it is.
Because I've never pretended like I can prove God isn't true.
Well, this is why you
don't think
know
that's
bring
how
up
it's
stipulations of the debate and then just kind of go from there after y'all agree on whatever.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to talk.
I mean, I think it's easy to show, Christian, if the Bible's to be taken literally. I think that's really easy to show. So it really depends on how literally you take the Bible. Would depend on how easy it is to show that the Christianity is not true. But proving a God isn't true, I'm not that smart. I don't think anybody is.
Talk more about it. But here's my challenge. It's real simple. I'm glad this is being recorded. My challenge is extremely simple. What is the gospel? And if you don't know what it is, why do you continue to waste your time pretending that you're an expert in it on your channel?
So what kind of topic is that, Pickle? So now we're back to what
That's
is
all
the
I want to talk
gospel,
about, really, to
and
be
then
honest with you.
why do I waste my time?
Yeah. Why do you waste your time pretending
I
that you're
can't
an
make
expert
this
in
shit
this
up.
area?
Do I pretend
You
I'm
don't
an
even know what-
expert in
You talk,
anything?
man, dude. You be talking all kinds of
I
shit.
literally
smack on
say, again, I don't mean to dehumanize them, but are they lizard people? I'm not an expert in anything.
you pretend that you are, though.
You watch.
You got
me.
the fancy
Oh,
video
yeah.
editing.
Gert, do I
You
pretend
got
like I'm
the-
an
the
expert
fancy
in
microphone? Man, you got it all.
No, I got
man.
a
You
mic.
it all.
You know what? Like, this is just part 1. This is I mean, I'll call it the fun part, but like the real part is part 2 when Danny there has just been sitting there quiet, minding his own business, absorbing it all in. I'm sure, maybe even playing a video game, doing something, but just kind of just biding his time because Danny's gonna be part 2, and that's the real conversation with Smokey Saint. Because again, Smokey's kind of poked and prodded, But he's getting really, really angry. And again, I have to preface, I keep thinking it's coming. It's got to be coming soon. There's going to be some slurs. Like
on your channel, talking all that smack about Christianity.
Actually,
but yet you don't even know a doggone thing about
I would enjoy your last two videos. One was the crazy girl speaking in tongues, and then the other one was well, I forget what it was. I watched too much. But yeah, the speaking in tongues. I think most here would agree that's pretty crazy.
I dropped out of high school, my dude. I went to college. You got to give credit to Gerd there because, trying to kind of shift the conversation and maybe more light, good attempt, Gerd, but, Veckel's in the room and Smokey's in the room and then that Jill dude. But, it was after I dropped out of high school. I don't pretend to be an expert on anything. I'm an atheist. I am me. I come in here pretending to be me, Veckel. That's all. That's it.
No,
that's,
and I appreciate that. Rage, I don't have a problem with that. I don't mind what you.
I'm an expert on me. I'm an expert on me.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'd rather you be saved. I'd rather you come to know Jesus Christ.
That ain't gonna happen.
My challenge, though, well, that's not up for you to decide. But what I'm saying is that
so just so you guys can kind of understand how I spend some of my free time. Sometimes to the detriment. Anytime that I stay up to even 2:30, 1 o'clock, I can usually handle. If I stay up to like 2:30, 3:30, like I did last night, there's a price to be paid for that. This is kind of how I spend some of my time. And as you have seen throughout this entire thing, it has been a completely 100% useless conversation. There is no merit to be had from the conversation. It's the absolute dog pile. Outside of the fact that you get to see the Christian in their natural habitat. You get to see them and how they really shine as the fine Christian people that they are. When they have other very fine Christian people like themselves there to feed them. And then once you have a character like Veckel who just can't shut the fuck up ever. It's called a mute button. I get in trouble sometimes, but on StreamYard it's actually a lot easier. That mute button is a lot bigger. On OBS, very, very tiny. StreamYard usually don't have an issue.
I'm criticizing Rage. I'm criticizing you. Okay,
well,
I'm not saying
I've gotten that
the
for
challenge.
the last hour.
The challenge is not. I'm not challenging you on whether or not you were actually saved because I don't know that. That's for God to know. And
everybody else here was saying I wasn't.
Okay.
I'm sure
that's not me because I'm not going to. Well, that's not me. That's not my position. Why would I argue out of ignorance? The best I would do is say, well, I'm not going to let you lead Bible study. Okay, but I'm not going to try to judge your salvific status.
I want to lead.
We do have.
Maybe Veckel. He has. He has to understand that, as we saw, he did exactly that. He did that. So maybe he understands that he did that, and he understands that goes against his Calvinist belief. And again, that all goes to when you're an atheist and you're expected to be an expert on everything, even if you're not a scientist, you're expected to be an expert on evolution. You're expected to know every answer and have every answer the right way. Which one am I supposed to have perfect? Is it Veckel's Calvinism? Is it Smokey Saint's insanity? Is it whatever praise is? Because that seems to be like an emulation of whatever Smokey is. It's really hard to tell. But which version of Christianity am I to be perfect on? And if I'm to be perfect on all of them, why aren't you held to that same standard as Christians? Because you clearly aren't. All you do is point the finger and say, heretic. You have no... You can't show no empathy. You can't show no true understanding of other people's positions. There's only your own. And that's the only thing that you can understand. And then try to make some just false claim that I'm the one that does that. But it shows your insecurity. And I guess it might be another merit of a conversation like this. But pretty much still just like a useless conversation. Because... they're honestly mostly useless individuals.
Now, the fact that you're an atheist, the fact that you're a professing atheist is at the very least circumstantial evidence that you were never saved. Okay. I would say that. I
So
would
just
definitely
because
say
I
that.
profess myself as atheist, that's
I said
circumstantial
circumstantial.
evidence?
Do you know what circumstantial evidence is?
Yes.
Okay,
I
what is it? What
do.
is it then? What is it?
It's like happenstance evidence. It's like, that insinuates me of
It's
a
not
thing.
empirical. It's not empirical. So in other words, I'm saying
And that
I'm not
kinda just
affirming
what I
that you were
just
never
fucking
saved
said.
and that you lost your salvation. I'm saying that at the very least, it could be circumstantial
doesn't even
evidence
listen to
that you
nobody.
were never saved. But I don't know that. Only God knows that for sure. Okay?
See,
Only God knows for sure that you are
they'll
one of his
literally
elect.
sit there and dogpile on me how I possibly can't know anything about anything that they say. But like Vecco just doesn't listen to nothing and nobody.
Even in your hard atheism right now.
I'm
Only God
definitely
knows that
not.
for sure.
I'm
Now,
definitely not one of his
I
elect.
agree with you. I agree with you, but again, you're not God. I'm not God. Only God has that authority to make that declaration.
God's not God.
But that's not my challenge to you. My challenge is, if you don't know the gospel, why do you talk so much sugar smack about it as if you think you do know?
I make a YouTube channel about myself.
Okay.
Am I allowed? Am I allowed to do that, Vecco?
Yes, of course.
If you don't know the gospel, why do you talk about it? Like Vecco, you can find the playlist. It's on my channel. It's called "The Bible Is Stupid." Again, I think I've said this several times throughout the stream. Jill is like really seriously butthurt about it. Like he thinks about it and talks about it all the time. Smokey does too. Smokey, like that's Smokey coming into my Bible is Stupid series. The comments there is what really introduced me to Smokey Saint and what started this whole roller coaster ride that has been this monster of a human being. I read your Bible. I understand some of the crazy billions of things that you fuckers believe in. It's funny because like most of Smokey's streams nowadays are just pointing out how everybody's wrong but himself. And that's like how all of you think. Some of you can kind of get over some of the little shit enough to go kiss Smokey Saint's ass together.
I said it 1,000
Oh,
times.
seriously, because like you keep asking me why I do it.
Okay, so that's the answer then. So you just do it just because
I'm an atheist. I am me, and so I make a channel about myself. Yes.
Do you expect people to take you seriously then?
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
you seriously
Well,
like
that
never
answers my
watch my
question.
channel
We don't need
because
to have a debate then.
I honestly I say that all the time. I give no fucks what anybody thinks about.
Oh, gosh.
Praises.
Okay,
of
well,
child.
you know,
do
maybe we
you
don't
care
have-
what people think about you, Vecco?
No,
I think you do.
no, only if I was.
I think that's all you care
no,
about.
no, not really. No, go to my YouTube channel and see how many videos you see about me responding to you or to any other atheist.
Like it's literally.
go see for.
It was around 3:40. So we're literally about an hour and a half of real-time conversation without me pausing it. Of a straight Vecco diatribe with the occasional piling on of the other Christians. Like an hour and a half. Now, for somebody that claims that like they never watched my channel, Vecco, why do I offend you so much? Now, I understand we had a couple really hot conversations about, your Trump belief, they were really weird and odd, and you and Jill together don't make a great team. But that was a while ago. That was like the only real conversations we've ever had. So, like, why are you still mad, bruh? Hold grudges much?
Hey, Rage. The good thing is, if Christianity is true and OSAS is also true, we're both going to heaven.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
hallelujah, brother.
or if predestination is true,
is there any ass play in heaven?
What do you mean?
Fair question.
No, this isn't
such a perv.
Islam heaven. No, Islam, they get their
Can we?
that'd be
can
Islam.
we at least smack that ass in heaven?
Well,
I might be
It would be a
still
spiritual ass smack.
Fair question.
Well, you'll have 72 asses to smack in heaven if you become a Muslim. So why don't you become a
You know, and if you didn't watch the stream yesterday, I was referencing the stream yesterday, my 10 reasons why heaven can't be a paradise. I thought it was funny. And I thought the reasons were relatively true. Now, granted, I guess, I mean, number one, bacon, you know, maybe if it's turkey bacon, you could live with an eternity of that, but it's not real bacon, you know, so.
Muslim, you know?
Because that shit's bullshit, too.
Oh, gosh. Wait a minute. But you
I
get
mean-
the ladies,
I mean,
though.
Muhammad went
But you
into
get
a
the
cave and
ladies, though.
starved himself and had some hallucinations.
You go
Let's
get
believe him.
the ladies. What's wrong with that? That's what you want.
I don't. I tend not to believe in people's
But
starvation.
you want eternal
hallucinations.
you know?
Serious
You want the
question though,
eternal booty?
does it promise that there's 72 good-looking virgins?
No.
Yeah, that's the question, right?
No.
Do they all
They're
look
not even
good?
out there manly.
Hold on.
So I don't know what Smokey's been doing. But Smokey eventually is going to get really mad. And again, you know, I've had my moments, but I'm keeping my chill and I'm keeping my humor. Because I mean, when it's just nonstop diatribes and insults, then you gotta keep yourself sane. I don't even think it's promised they're female virgins.
You want 72
all
versions of Kim
hold on.
Kardashian? Come on, man.
Hold on. It depends on the school of thought, but they all look exactly the
There he
same.
is.
They're all identical. They all have white skin that is so white that it's actually transparent and you can see their bones. And you have 72 mansions, each with 72 rooms, each with 72 beds, each bed with 72 sheets, and in between each sheet is a virgin who replenishes her virginity after every session or after every night. And your orgasms last 80 years. And God grants you an endless penis, whatever that means.
Now that's heaven if I ever heard something.
I mean, they laugh at it, but how do they know that that's not true? Even if that is, I don't know. I don't know Islam that well to know if Smokey's being. I don't know, but I mean, why laugh at it? How do you know? Can you prove that that's not how heaven's going to be? Y'all laugh at that. Y'all laugh at that. I mean, you guys laugh at that, but it's like equally as ludicrous as the shit you believe.
Like what?
It's
Like
not.
It's like
Like
the
what?
same
Explain.
God.
Well,
Yeah, tell us.
I would say splitting the moon and walking on water are kind
Splitting the moon?
You're gonna go
Did you
to
say
heaven
splitting
and
the moon?
live it.
Yeah, Mohammed splitting
You're telling the
the moon.
mechanics with God walking on water. Why is
So
that
so
true?
when you go to heaven, are you fucking your wife in heaven? Like I don't
No, there's
understand.
no
Like,
marriage in
Actually,
heaven.
that's a
Why
good
would you
question,
want
Ray.
to?
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
marriage in heaven.
so
It's not a
there's
good
no
question.
sex in
Read
heaven.
the
No,
Bible.
no, no. That's a good question for the Muslims.
They answered one of them. Like, there's no sex in heaven, so you can't even have bad sex in heaven. One from my list of from earlier that evening last night. Again, before it was right before I went into the stream. I did my stream, and my stream was the top 10 reasons why heaven can't be a paradise. And one of those reasons was the terrible sex in heaven. But they're saying now, like, clearly, there's no marriage in heaven. There's no sex. You're gonna just be groveling at God's feet. None. Stop. All you're doing.
Like, if a Muslim dies, a married person, is he still going to get 72 virgins in heaven, including his wife, or like, how does that work? I'd be curious to know. I'd be curious to ask a Muslim about that. So it's like you get 72 virgins plus your wife.
I mean, it's all equally as ludicrous.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. Come on, Reg, you know you.
I'm almost starting to think, because my stomach's about to grumble, and I've watched about half. I'm gonna probably wrap it up soon and cook dinner, and maybe that way, hopefully I can fit that in there before those slurs come. And I'll do a part 2 probably tomorrow. I'll see if I can't get the slurs out, which is always a better option, I think. So, yeah, I'm probably going to wrap this up soon. Been streaming for a while. And before Smokey comes in, I think, or when Smokey starts to come in, I think might be a great time to then end the stream, and we can do a part 2 tomorrow. And I can try to get those slurs out, because Smokey gets really, really mad.
You want to
And
become a Muslim?
actually, it gets worse. You actually are allowed to bang your mother in heaven.
Yeah, no, I actually find Islam.
Are you serious? That's smoking
This might it might be coming because I think I've like insulted him at this point. Surprise you guys! I actually find Islam to be more atrocious than Christianity. I don't
Oh,
know.
I thought you were going to say the opposite, and I was going to disagree with you, but
No,
yeah, wrong part.
Islam never. Yeah, we're gonna get into like I just don't think I think Christianity has made attempts to progress, and I've said that stuff before, so we'll save that. It'll be a good part. I think we'll end it. I'm getting hungry. It's like 6:30, time for dinner. So I think that's a good place to end it. Maybe I'll get the notion and I'll just do part 2 later this evening. I'm having fun with this. I'd like to finish it out, so maybe I'll do part 2 later this evening, unless something's good going on. Maybe I'll just end up watching a movie with my daughter, and do it tomorrow. So we'll see how it works out. We'll see what she wants to do. Maybe. So yeah, I think that's a good spot. I think this is a good spot. It's been going for a while, and it will give me a chance. In fact, as I go cook dinner, I'm going to let it continue playing. I'm going to mark down the time, which is easy. It's right on the dot, 5 hours and 7 minutes on this stream. And it'll give me time. I'd have to record the whole thing. So that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to record the rest of it, and then I can insert said censorship in the moment. That's going to help my channel, so I don't take any more abuse from YouTube. I think is the smart option to go. They say I'm dense, but I do have a few brain cells left. Damn it. How you doing, Paul the Potato? I want to thank you guys for joining this. So far it's just been this dog pile, part 1. But it's not going to be so much a dog pile in the part 2. I think we're starting to get beyond that. When Smokey comes in, he's going to make his case on myself, which is really, really odd and weird. It just, it still just doesn't, like, I'm reflecting on it because I was there last night. I experienced it personally, in person, and I still can't quite try to even understand what the fuck he was trying to do. But I don't think it was a good thing, and I think he's really angry, and you're going to see that reflect. Maybe later tonight, we'll see, maybe, but I definitely got to cook dinner. I am starving, y'all. So, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, who knows? I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon.